Good afternoon, Braves fans, and welcome to Sammy Cox Field on the campus of UNC Pembroke. It's UNCP Baseball Senior Day as the Braves host the Jags from Augusta University. As the Braves go for a sweep of this three-game weekend set in the Peach Belt Conference. And Brandon, look at the Peach Belt Conference standings. This is absolutely necessary for the Braves team. They need every win they can possibly get coming down the home stretch.
Yeah, getting deep into conference play, going into postseason, hopefully the Braves have to get a win here to get some momentum going in the always brutal Peach Belt.
The Braves won both games yesterday after a scheduled game on Friday was rained out. They played a doubleheader. The Braves held on for a 4-3 win in Game 1, then had to come from behind in the second game to win 8-6. That snapped a 5-game losing streak for the Black and Gold. Meanwhile, on the other side, Augusta has now lost 5 straight Peach Belt Conference games since sweeping then number 5 USC Aiken. The Jags come in at 28-16 overall, 16-10 in the Peach Belt Conference. UNCP, the home team, will be wearing their black jerseys today. They're 26-19, but 12-14 in the Peach Belt Conference. As we look at those PBC standings, Brandon, the Braves will be on the road next weekend, taking on current conference leader Columbus State. Second place is Lander, third place USC Aiken. Augusta is in fourth place right now. Montevallo in fifth, Georgia College in sixth, and then there's a three-way tie for seventh.
This is a big time for the Braves to move forward here, Cameron. I mean, they're in the 8th spot right now. They have some big games coming up today and next weekend. So,
Senior Day ceremony right now. We will quiet our mouths and allow PA announcer Todd Anderson to tell you what's going on the field as the senior class for UNCP baseball is honored.
Number 13, Austin Hill. Austin has played the last 2 seasons for the Braves after transferring from USC Lancaster following his freshman season. A contributor both on the mound and in the field, Austin has hit .290 during his collegiate career, while also logging 4 complete games and 3 victories on the mound. A 2-time Peach Belt Conference Presidential Honor Roll selection, Austin is joined on the field today by his parents, Dawn and Tommy. Ladies and gentlemen, number 13, Austin Hill. Put your hands together for our second senior, number 24, Daniel Bass. Daniel has played the last 2 seasons for the Braves after playing 2 seasons at Lewisburg College. He has 8 victories during his collegiate career, including a career best 3 wins this season. He turned in one of his finest collegiate performances 2 weeks ago by handcuffing Francis Marion in a 2-1 victory over the Patriots on the road. A 2-time member of the Peach Belt Conference Presidential Honor Roll, the Knightdale native is joined on the field today by his parents, Gail and Ricky. Ladies and gentlemen, number 24, Daniel Batts. Our next senior is Maltese native and right-handed pitcher, number 26, Logan Cook. Logan is a 4-year member of the UNCP baseball team and has served a key role in the weekend rotation over the last 3 years. Logan will exit UNCP as one of the winningest pitchers in school history after recently notching the 21st win of his career against Young Harris. He has made 60 career appearances in the Black and Gold, including 35 starts, and boasts 212 career strikeouts and a 7.79 strikeouts per 7 innings ratio. A 2-time Peach Belt Conference Pitcher of the Week selection, Logan has twice been named to the PBC Presidential Honor Roll as well. Escorted onto the field by his parents, Jackie and Charles, ladies and gentlemen, number 26, Logan Cook. The 4th honoree in the class of 2016 is number 38, Chris Stewart. A product of Batesburg, South Carolina, Chris has played the last 2 seasons at UNCP after playing his first 2 seasons at USC Lancaster. A key arm out of the bullpen for the Black and Gold, Chris has notched 8 victories during his collegiate career and has made 7 appearances for the Braves this season and boasts a career best 1.35 earned run average to go along with 12 strikeouts and 13 1/3 innings of work, including striking out 4 over career best 6 innings of work last weekend at nationally ranked Lander. Escorted onto the field today by his parents, Dee and Danny, ladies and gentlemen, 38, Chris Stewart. Our next senior is number 43, Tyler Holtz. Tyler is from Cary and has played the last 2 seasons for the Braves after playing both his freshman and sophomore seasons at Lewisburg College. Tyler boasts 4 collegiate victories as a relief pitcher and has struck out 7 batters in 9 2/3 innings from the mound this season, including a clutch 3-inning relief performance against Wingate earlier this season at Sammy Cox Field. Joined on the field today by his father Gary, his mother Jean, and his stepfather AJ. Ladies and gentlemen, number 43, Tyler Holtz. Put your hands together for our next senior, number 45, Wiley Jackson. Wiley is from Kinston and is in his 3rd year as a member of the UNCP baseball team after playing his freshman season at Piper. A .285 career hitter, Wiley has played in 25 career games for the Black and Gold and has registered a .462 batting average as a sophomore, as well as 1 stolen base and 7 runs scored. He has played in 9 games this season, including appearances at North Georgia, Francis Marion, and nationally ranked Landers. A 2-time member of the Peach Belt Conference Presidential Honor Roll, he is joined on the field today by his parents, Suzanne and Wayne. Ladies and gentlemen, number 45, Wiley Jackson. And last but not least, the final member of UNCP's class of 2016, number 52, Christian Snyder. A native of Liberty, Christian has played the last 2 seasons with the Braves after previous stints at both Lewisburg College and UNC Greensboro. A .303 career hitter, including a .321 mark as a member of the Braves. Christian has played in 55 games of the Black and Gold, and over that span has logged 18 multiple hit games and 14 multiple RBI games. He added another impressive entry to his baseball resume this season by reaching base safely in 24 straight games. A 2-time member of the Peach Belt Conference Presidential Honor Roll, he is escorted onto the field today by his parents, Cecilia and Jimmy. Ladies and gentlemen, number 52, Christian Snyder. Ladies and gentlemen, one more round of applause for the UNCP Baseball Class of 2016.
So there it is, the 7-person senior class, 2016 seniors for UNCP baseball. Obviously, a different field to this year's team compared to last year's team, which has had double-digit seniors and a huge graduating class. This year, not the same as last year for the Braves. They went 38-13 a year ago and were one of the powerhouses in the region. This year at 26-19, 12-14 in the conference. It's been up and down. It's been a younger team, and this year playing that home stretch, just trying to get into the Peach Belt Conference tournament in a 3-way tie, as we were saying before we had to step aside for the senior day ceremony. A 3-way tie for 7th right now, but only the top 8 make the Peach Belt Conference tournament. Fortunately for UNCP, although they go on the road to face the #1 team in the conference next weekend, also next weekend, Flagler and Francis Marion play each other. Those are the other 2 teams that are tied with the Braves. So, as long as the Braves do better than one of those teams. If the Braves can win today and then somehow take 1 out of 3 against Columbus State, they can guarantee themselves that they're in.
Yeah, and they're going to want to win at least 2 of the next games that they have to solidify themselves and take their own fortune into their own hands and not bank on another team having to lose or win out.
The Braves and the Augusta Jags will be squaring off here today. Again, Augusta, the 4th place team right now in the Peach Belt Conference, 28-16 overall, 16-10 in Peach Belt Conference play. UNC Pembroke 26-19, 12-14 in the Peach Belt Conference. With Brendan Blakeney, I'm Cameron Songer. Thank you so much for joining us on the Braves Broadcast Network, our final broadcast of the 2015-2016 school year. Brendan, it's been a long year.
It has, and it's hard to believe that it's coming to an end today.
We've had football, soccer, volleyball, wrestling, men's, women's basketball. What else? Baseball, softball, and then this weekend track and field.
We have done it all.
And wrestling as well. That was the other one we were forgetting there. I knew it was like trying to keep count of how many sports. It's a long list.
It is.
It's been a blast to bring you games all year long here on the Braves YouTube channel, as UNCP baseball gets ready to take Sammy Cox Field for the last time this season. Their season, again, not over. They'll be on the road next weekend against Columbus State. And then, depending on how today goes, depending on how next weekend goes, potentially into the PBC tournament the following weekend. Yesterday, UNCP softball saw their season come to an end after they reached the semifinals of the Peach Belt Conference tournament They scored a win against Georgia College, at Georgia College, which was hosting the Peach Belt Conference Tournament, but then ran into a buzzsaw in the form of the #1 seed and defending national champion North Georgia Nighthawks. They've proven to be a tough out. I believe they only lost one game all year in conference. So the UNCP softball team, a huge turnaround, making the conference tournament for the first time in quite a while.
Yeah, I think it was since 2011, if I'm not mistaken, Cameron, and it was a pretty impressive season, like you said. I mean, they weren't expected to do a whole lot this year, so I would say they exceeded expectations by qualifying for the tournament, and those ladies definitely have to be proud, hold their heads high about this season. And a lot of talent returning as well.
Also, yesterday we were at the Peach Belt Conference Track and Field Championships. We were broadcasting that, so if you were looking for UNCP baseball in terms of the live stream, well, we were broadcasting the Track and Field Conference Championships. Their season over for some competitors there for UNCP, others reaching provisional qualifying times, and they might look to improve that. There are a couple last chance meets coming up. Still interesting stuff going on with UNCP Track and Field, but right now the focus is on baseball, the focus especially on the seniors for now, but it's obviously an emotional time, an emotional ceremony. Then you turn around and get ready to play a baseball game against a very good team in this conference and an angry Augusta team looking to avoid getting swept here out of Pembroke.
Exactly. They come all the way from Georgia, fourth-ranked team in the conference right now. They're not expecting to get swept, so we'll see if they can pull something together here and just suffice some dignity in this one.
Last year, UNCP and Augusta played on Senior Day, but it was the Jag Senior Day, and the Braves spoiled the Jag Senior Day, but it was the only game the Braves won out of that 3-game series. So we could see a complete mirror image today if, last year it was the Braves coming in taking the first 2 of the series, and then Augusta won the first 2 out of 3 at home for their final weekend at home. And the Braves came in and spoiled the last one. Augusta looking to return the favor here today.
Could be a little revenge in the air today.
I would say more than a little. I'd say that is a major revenge factor. And it's been a good turnaround this year for Augusta. They were 18-28, 11-18 in the Peach Belt Conference last year. This year, well, they've taken that loss total from last year and moved that number into the win column. 28-16 right now. We said they've lost the first 2 games of this series and now 5 straight Peach Belt Conference games. So they're on the wrong end of a slide right now. And the Braves looking to bounce back. The schedule was so tough on UNCP. Their final couple of Peach Belt Conference series, they played the top 4 teams in the Peach Belt Conference over the course of the final 5 weekends of the season. So very difficult for UNCP as the schedule was not, let's say, well balanced. They played a bunch of home games in February and March, and now once the calendar turned over to April, they've basically been on the road this whole month. It seems like it's been a little while since we've been up here, Brandon, calling a Braves baseball game.
Yeah, they started off with double-digit home games. I think it was 12 to start the season, so they definitely had a road trip coming. But this is a big game for Augusta as well, trying to carry some momentum, even though their spot is pretty much solidified in the conference tournament. Playing for some seeding here and some momentum to carry into the tournament. No easy wins here in the Peach Belt.
Well, we kind of saw it with going back to UNCP softball a little bit. We kind of saw it with the Braves softball teams. They were right there in that 4-5 mix. They ended up getting the 5 seed, but in an 8-team conference tournament, you might think there's not that big of a difference between 4 and 5. They play against each other, but that's for home field.
Yeah.
You get the higher seed. The 4 seed gets to be the home team in the 4-5 opening round matchup, quarterfinal, whatever you want to call it, at the Peach Belt Conference tournament. That's meaningful, and it didn't come into play with the Braves softball team. They were able to hold on in the 7th inning in a single elimination bracket. It also is really an interesting way the Peach Belt Conference does it in terms of baseball and softball. It's really tough because unlike some other sports, basketball comes to mind where the single elimination makes sense. In baseball and softball, somebody gets hot, one pitcher gets hot, you can see teams sneak up in the bracket.
Exactly.
For example, in the softball bracket yesterday, number 7 seed USC Aiken made it to the championship round. That's just an example of some bats getting hot, a pitcher getting hot. In softball, more so one pitcher than an entire staff. In baseball, it really takes more of the staff.
Yeah, definitely go with the rotation approach in baseball. But it was a successful season, I think, for the softball team. Coach Hobbs and Coach Bennett did a great job with the team. And there's a lot of sophomores, couple freshmen in that lineup coming back next year. Be some senior leadership as well. So
Speaking of pitchers, let's take a look at the pitching matchup in today's game. For Augusta on the hill, the left-handed pitcher Will Thompson. He has a 4.07 ERA and a 5-3 win-loss record. This will be his 13th appearance and 13th start. He's struck out 52 across 66 and a third innings of work and is allowing exactly 1 hit per inning pitched. Opponents hitting .255 against him. So we'll see if the Braves bats can stay hot against him. For the Braves, left-handed pitcher senior Daniel Batts will get the ball on senior day. He'll make just his 4th start of the season, but his 18th appearances. He's kind of moved from the bullpen into the starting rotation. The Braves, we said that young team, Paul O'Neill, has really moved guys around in the lineup, moved guys around in the rotation, seen guys get more reps early in the season versus late in the season.
Yeah.
It's been tough. It's so difficult when you're talking about a team that didn't have a lot of veterans, a lot of transfers
Exactly.
that are seeing a lot of playing time. So you're figuring out exactly where they fit in, what their strengths, what their weaknesses. Some guys who'd been sort of buried on the bench on the depth chart last year now suddenly pushed into a bigger role. One of those guys, of course, Nick Debo, Christian Snyder, another example of that. The only returning starter in the Braves lineup coming into the season was Drew Beaver, and he's been stellar for UNCP. He'll be in the cleanup spot here today. But we've also seen Roberto Rivera, transfer from St. Augustine's, come through, make a big impact. Stebel Aliman Saba's been a serious slugger and a real threat for UNCP with runners in scoring position. He's moved up in the batting order. He was batting 4th or 5th earlier this year. Now he's in the 3 spot. But I think the biggest difference we've seen in terms of batting order compared to earlier in the year, Nick Salisbury, who had been hitting 9th for most of the season, today batting 2nd.
And he's been hitting 2nd for a few games now on this stretch, and he's been performing pretty well. We always talked about having a spark in the 9th spot in the batting order, so I guess Coach saw something he liked, and he's moved him up in the lineup. He's performed.
Coach for UNCP baseball, of course, Paul O'Neill in his 16th season at the helm of the Braves program. On the other side, in the opposing dugout, Jason Eller is in his 3rd year as the head coach of Augusta University baseball. Paul O'Neill and Jason Eller talking things out with the umpiring crew. Our umpiring crew today, by the way, behind the plate will be Alan McGee, and at first base, Glenn Barham. It's the same crew that's been working all weekend, or should I say just yesterday's doubleheader. As they played 2 yesterday, just 1 here today. And it is hard to complain about the weather at all. The weather obviously canceling Friday's game, forcing it into Saturday afternoon. But it is sunny, 72 degrees, not much of a breeze, not a cloud in the sky over Sammy Cox Field, a few off in the horizon. It's really hard to imagine a better day for baseball, Brandon.
Yeah, beautiful Sunday afternoon, and we'll see if the Braves can get some bats going here. On the season, they have a losing record against left-handers, facing them 4-9 right now. So we'll see if Will Thompson will have a solid day on the mound, or if the Braves can crack the code and make some things happen here.
UNC Pembroke baseball taking on Augusta on senior day in Pembroke. They had to cut their warm-ups short to do that senior day ceremony, so now they're going and getting those extra couple warm-up tosses in.
Pitchers getting a little more loose, getting ready, and again, talking about the diversity of this team and just the skill sets they have. You have Roberto Rivera leading off and playing center field, but the guy started off the season playing shortstop, so that just shows you some of the range and some of the utilities these guys have playing different positions all over the field.
Well, national anthem coming up in just a moment. Let's get the starting lineups. Oh, no, it looks like they finally wrapped it up. That was a very long meeting at home plate.
Yeah.
You sometimes see that before the first game of a series when you discuss the dimensions, some of the intricacies of the field. But now, they will do the national anthem here at Sammy Cox Field.
We honor these United States of America and those who protect it with the playing of our national anthem. to Sammy Cox Field on the campus of the University of North
All right, Brave Nation, senior day for UNCP baseball as the Braves look for a sweep against Augusta. With Brandon Blakeney, I'm Cameron Songer. Thank you for joining us. The last broadcast of the school year on the Braves Broadcast Network. And let's get you the starting lineups, starting with the visiting Augusta Jags. They will line up like this as presented by their head coach, Jason Eller, in his third season. The leadoff hitter for Augusta will be center fielder Clint Hardy. He'll be followed by right fielder Drew Taylor. Then first baseman Connor Gilbert. Catcher Cole Thompson, that's fourth, and wears jersey number 4. In the 5 spot, designated hitter Jamal Cummings. The second baseman Nick Rao is the 6th hitter. Then the 7 hitter Hunter Boos, he's at third base. Left fielder Jim Wagner and shortstop Tyler Roberts round out the batting order for Augusta. Starting pitcher for the Jags, talked about him a little bit in the pregame, will be Will Thompson. And we'll have a Thompson-Thompson battery here today. Will Thompson, the left-handed pitcher and a transfer from Auburn University, will be throwing to Cole Thompson, a senior catcher and transfer from Middle Georgia. So Augusta, much like UNCP, made up of a lot of transfers, and the Jags have really had a big turnaround season, looking to avoid a sweep at the hands of the Braves here this afternoon and maintain their spot in 4th place in the Peach Belt Conference. So now the Braves starting lineup being introduced. Head coach of the Braves is Paul O'Neill in his 16th season. His coaching staff of Jeff Jefferson, Alex Pierce, and Daniel Britt. Starting lineup for the Braves. In center field, sophomore, number 2, Roberto Rivera. Batting second, playing second base, junior, number 1, Nick Salisbury. The number 3 hitter is designated hitter, number 11, the junior, Stabel Aliman Saba. Hitting cleanup for the Braves, junior shortstop, number 16, Drew Beaver. Batting 5th, junior right fielder, number 20, Nick Debo. He's one of 2 pure left-handed hitters in the Braves batting order to face this lefty Will Thompson. Nick Salisbury is a true switch hitter. He'll be batting second. Number 6 hitter is first baseman, senior, number 52, Christian Snyder. Junior backstop, number 8, Justin DeTillo, bats 7th. He'll be followed by Nolan Pierce, the sophomore left fielder. And then batting 9th for the Braves, junior third baseman, number 9, Hayden Buffkin. There are some strong bats all the way up and down this Braves batting order. Just one hitter who's hitting below 310, and that's Nolan Pierce at 288. Augusta, they can rake as well, as all 9 of their starting batters are batting at least 313.
Yeah, that's pretty ridiculous. I was looking at that. A lot of offensive firepower.
Hard to imagine that these teams will play another 4-3 game like the first game yesterday.
Yeah, I can't imagine that one. Braves scored a lot of runs this year, just trying to get some consistency on the mound going.
Been a similar kind of story for Augusta, but they've obviously had a little bit more success overall. Starting pitcher for UNCP, left-handed pitcher, number 24, Daniel Batts. Batts comes in with a 5.67 ERA, 3 wins, 1 loss. This is his 18th appearance, but 4th start, as we kind of talked earlier, Brandon, about how they moved him into the starting rotation. He's thrown just 27 innings, given up 32 hits, 21 runs. Of those, 17 have been earned. Struck out 34 and walked just 10 in those 27 innings. And opponents hitting a fairly solid 291 against him. He'll have to bring his best stuff here today, but gotta think he's pretty motivated, pretty inspired. We'll do it for his fellow seniors here on senior day at Sammy Cox Field.
Oh yeah, he's got to be amped up for this one, for sure.
Final home game of the career in the black and gold for this senior class. A young Braves team filled with a lot of transfers, 7 seniors overall, of which a handful have been here for all 4 years. Daniel Batts getting the ball for the last home game of the season.
Yeah, like you said, a lot of transfers, but some of these guys, too, have been here for all 4 years, and they've been able to contribute a lot to the program and Coach O'Neill, so he'll be sad to see him go, but we'll see if they can go out on a high note here.
Resetting the UNCP defense for you one last time before this game starts. In the outfield, it's Pierce, Rivera, and Debo from left to right. Buffkin is at third, Beaver at short, Salisbury at second, Snyder at first. Maryland Eastern Shore transfer Justin DeTillo behind the plate, and Daniel Batts on the mound.
See a few D1 transfers on both these rosters up and down. Guys doing a pretty good job recruiting.
Ready to go at 1:07 p.m. Eastern Time. The leadoff hitter for Augusta is center fielder number 10, Clint Hardy. He takes strike one on the outside corner, and we are underway. Hardy comes in hitting .384 on the season. He's got 68 hits and 177 tries, 8 doubles, 6 triples, and 6 home runs. Swings through that one and misses, 0-2. So one of the top home run hitters and the top base stealer for Augusta, Clint Hardy. He is just a junior. He was all-team Peach Belt Conference last year. Swings and fouls this one off. Look at that, all PBC performer in his first season at Augusta after coming over from Western Kentucky.
We see he's had no problems adjusting.
Takes outside there. Sotillo set up outside the strike zone, trying to get Hardy to chase one. Just getting started here on senior day in Pembroke. The 1-2 pitch, a big breaking ball from Bats. Misses away.
Wow, that thing had some movement on it. Just missed the strike zone.
It's going to be tough to time up if you're used to looking on a fastball. Here's the 2-2. Swung on, popped straight up in the infield, in foul territory. Snyder comes into the first base box, lost it in the sun. It drops foul.
Tough play there. But that can happen. Like you said, not a cloud in the sky today, just a pretty sunny day. And that time it worked against the home team.
It looked like off the bat that was going to be closer to first base. Sotillo had shed the mask from behind home plate and was running, trying to track it down. It had so much backspin and ended up landing right between them. 2-2 is swung on and missed, and Clint Hardy is retired either way. Just needed one more good pitch from Daniel Batts there. He gets his first strikeout at the first batter he faces.
Batts starting off strong here on senior day. Getting Hardy out. We'll see if he can keep this up.
Has proven to be a tough out all year for pitchers around the region. Clint Hardy struck out now just 19 times this year and almost 180 trips to the plate. More than that if you count his walks and hit by pitches.
The kid makes contact.
So here's right fielder number 9, Drew Taylor, .313 hitter. He's got 9 doubles, no triples, but 6 home runs. He puts this ball in the air into shallow left field. It's dropping quickly, a diving attempt, and Pierce can't come up with it. Bounces off his glove. He rifles it back into second base. Leaves Taylor over at first. That was nearly a miraculous, ridiculous catch.
Yeah, way to sacrifice the body early there. The sophomore Pierce out there. And heck of a play to recover and get it to the cutoff at the second base to prevent extra bases.
We've seen guys make that attempt for the spectacular diving catch, miss it completely, and have it get past him. Roberto Rivera was trying to hustle in to back it up, but that is a long run to make over from center field.
Yeah, even for a guy as fast as Rivera.
Connor Gilbert puts this ball in a similar spot. No doubt about this one. That's a base knock for first baseman Connor Gilbert. Back-to-back singles for Augusta. They appear to be in business in the top of the first inning. One out, runners on first and second. Connor Gilbert picks up hit number 53 on the season. That brings up the catcher, Cole Thompson. Thompson, the senior from Gray, Georgia. .373 batting average. He leads the team with, or second on the team with 37 runs batted in. He also has 5 home runs and 12 doubles. One of many very strong bats in this Jaguars lineup.
Yeah, I'm guessing these guys don't see too many pitches they don't like, so.
The pitch, fouled straight back. The runner on second is Taylor. Runner on first is Gilbert. Be very surprised if they tried to steal on Justin Sotillo here with the heart of their order coming up.
Yeah, we'll see if Bats can maybe stop this momentum and get something going here on his end. Inning's still not out of reach, but Augusta's definitely working with something.
Curveball right down the middle, strike 2. Cole Thompson clearly fooled on that one. He's not going to let too many of those go by.
Nasty curve. Bat's doing a good job mixing up the off pitch with the fastball, keeping batters guessing a little bit, displaying some solid stuff.
Here comes the 0-2 to Thompson. Goes outside with it. He was looking over his shoulder for a long time there. I'm surprised Thompson didn't try to call time.
Yeah.
Very aware of how big the lead is over there on second base for Drew Taylor. Middle infield at double play depth. Daniel Batts on the hill for UNC Pembroke. Cole Thompson for Augusta at the plate. And now he'll call time. Maybe he heard us.
It's just to take a minute to gather himself. It's a big moment here early in the game, Cameron.
Well, one good pitch low in the zone could induce an inning-ending double play. On the other side, a hit to the outfield, and Augusta will run the bases. Batts with the 1-2 pitch. Swung on, skied into shallow center field. This barely leaves the infield dirt. Ranging over from shortstop is Beaver. He makes the catch for the second out.
Pretty routine play there.
It brings up Jamal Cummings, the designated hitter for Augusta.
Number 8, Jamal
320 batting average. This is just his 24th start of the year. Not an everyday player for Augusta. Getting the nod here in the 5 spot. He's got 24 hits and 75 at-bats.
We'll see if he can do something with this opportunity he has right now.
2 away, runners on first and second in the top of the first inning. Augusta looking for the game's first run. High and away is the first pitch for ball 1.
Batts has been doing a good job getting ahead of batters, so kind of odd to see him throw a ball on the first pitch there.
Batts with the 1-0 offering. Called strike 1 at the knees on the inside corner.
And it looked like Cummings wanted no part of that one.
It's Gilbert on first, Taylor on second. No score, top of the first inning. Batts 1-1. Curveball swung on and missed, strike 2. That ended up in the dirt. Probably started up near the eyeballs. That had some massive break on that.
Goodness. Pretty pitch.
1 ball, 2 strikes now.
It seems like Batts and Salisbury just have this battle going on over at second base with the runner.
The pitch comes home on 1-2, just a little bit inside. I believe Cummings tried to sell that as being further inside than it really was, based on a couple of shouts or grunts coming from the Braves dugout, expressing their disagreement with the call, let's just say.
Yeah, they're not a shy bunch.
Without arguing balls and strikes, because you can't do that. 2-2. Swung on and missed. It was in the dirt. Till has to throw over to first. He does. That's the out. And Daniel Batts comes out strong, strikes out 2 in the top of the first inning, despite 2 hits from Augusta. No score as the Braves come to bat for the first time when we come back.
What you've gained as a student will be just as important to you as what you did as a player. As long as you know that you made the effort to do the best of which you're capable, there's no failure. Success on 3.
There are over 400,000 NCAA student athletes. And just about all of us will be going pro in something other than sports.
Bottom of the first inning, warming up for Augusta is their starting pitcher, lefty Will Thompson. Thompson boasts a 4.07 ERA and a 5-3 record. The junior is from Graceville, Florida, and a transfer from Auburn University. Left-handed pitcher stands at 6'6", 240 pounds, so he's an imposing presence on the mound. Making his 13th appearance and 13th start. He does have 1 complete game to his name this season. Thrown 66 in the 3rd innings, given up exactly 66 hits. Struck out 52, walked 27, allowed 38 runs. 30 of those have been earned. Opponents hitting .255 against Augusta's Sunday starter. The defense for Augusta, Wagner in left, Hardy in center, Taylor in right, Boose at third, Roberts at short, Rao at second, Gilbert at first, and Thompson behind the plate. It's Thompson and Thompson, pitcher and catcher. I don't think they're related.
The Thompsons.
It's a pretty common last name.
Yeah.
Cole Thompson, the catcher, is from Gray, Georgia, and a transfer from Middle, Georgia. Pitcher Will Thompson is from Graceville, Florida, and a transfer from Auburn University.
And he was a big get for Augusta coming all the way from Auburn, the Auburn Tigers. Big get, big fella.
Leadoff hitter for UNCP is sophomore Roberto Rivera, hitting .400 on the season. He's got 66 hits, 8 doubles, and a triple. Takes strike one on the outside corner. Also knocked in 33 runs for the Black and Gold this year in his first season, coming over from St. Augustine's in North Carolina by way of Millville, New Jersey. 1 ball and a strike now to Rivera. Talked about it earlier. He's started the season at shortstop, moved into center field defensively, and has played both those positions very well.
Yeah, just a contribution to his range on the field.
His biggest asset, though, might be his bat. It's hard to say that anything but that when you're talking about a guy who's hitting .400.
Yeah, he's leading the team this season, Cameron.
Puts this one in the air into right center field. It hangs up there. Hardy from center field ranges over, makes the catch for the first out. So good contact there from Rivera. Just left it up a little bit too long. But that's encouraging for UNCP to see their leadoff guy make such good contact.
And that's something we haven't seen a lot this season, Cameron. Both leadoff guys retired. Clint Hardy and Roberto Rivera both unable to get on base.
Two of the top hitters in the conference in terms of batting average, both hitting leadoff in today's game for their respective clubs. Now Nick Salisbury. This is a switch hitter, but he's choosing to bat lefty against left-handed pitcher Will Thompson. So that could be something about the way Thompson throws. It could just be that Salisbury's been feeling it from the left side a little bit more.
And that's always a good luxury to have a true switch hitter on the roster.
Salisbury, a .345 batting average. He's got 50 hits and 145 at-bats. Also 3 home runs for the Braves' second baseman. Listed at 5'5", transfer from Liberty. We'll be looking at a 2-1 here from Thompson. Swings, lines it in towards center field. It hangs up a little bit, and on the run, Hardy makes the catch again. That one was not as easy as the first one.
Not at all. He had to get on his wheels a little bit for that one. Looked like it might had a chance of dropping, but then it just kind of hung in the air.
It also hooked back towards the center fielder a little bit.
Weird arc on that one.
If it hooks the other way, we could be talking about a stand-up double for Nick Salisbury. Instead, he is retired for the second out of the inning. So 2 outs, bases empty. Designated hitter Stibel Aliman Saba comes up to the plate. The junior's hitting .371 this season. He's got 5 home runs, 8 doubles, and 2 triples among his 63 hits. Lefty-lefty matchup in the first pitch from Thompson. At the knees for a called strike.
Thompson's looked solid on the mound today so far, retiring the first 2. Looks like he's settling in.
The Braves haven't forced him to throw many pitches yet. Aliman swings at the second pitch, grounds it towards the first baseman. And Gilbert takes it himself. 1-2-3 inning for the Braves in the bottom of the first. We're through 1 inning at Sammy Cox Field, no score. Top of the second inning for Augusta. It'll be their 6, 7, and 8 hitters to face UNCP starter Daniel Batts. Nick Rao, Hunter Boos, and Jim Wagner. Jags looking for revenge after a pair of losses to start this series yesterday. They will also look to spoil the Braves senior day this afternoon. Kind of a reversal of last year's series. It was senior day weekend for Augusta. They hosted the Braves at the end of last regular season when Augusta took 2 out of the first 3. And then the Braves, the road team, avoided the sweep and spoiled senior day for the Jags. So revenge in a lot of ways here. Also thinking about a mirror image of last year in terms of the standings, that this is a Braves team that's trying, scrapping, and fighting, trying to get into the last couple spots in the Peach Belt Conference tournament, when last year it was the Braves who were the strong team and Augusta was the sort of outsider.
Exactly. All the difference a year can make, but they just have to get at least that 8th seed, and once you get in, all bets are off, because postseason baseball, everybody's 0-0.
The 0-1 pitch from Batts just misses outside. Count now 1-1 to Nick Rao. Rao, the second baseman today for the Jags, a .338 hitter. He's got 54 hits and 160 at-bats, 10 doubles, 1 triple, 2 home runs. Keeps the bat on his shoulder there. Makes it 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Oh, that's a unique last name, Rao. Not really common like Thompson. Interesting there.
Spelled R-A-U. The 1-2 pitch. This is outside.
It's a pretty easy name to write, though.
Well, if they had names on the back of their jerseys, the equipment managers would love stitching that in.
Yeah.
And it's certainly a lot easier than, say, Aliman Saba. Easier to fit.
Yeah.
You don't have to do anything to change the size of the letters or what have you.
Exactly. No hyphen needed, anything. Got a full count in our hands.
Leadoff man threatening to get on board in the form of Nick Rao. Here's the pitch from Batts. And that misses, ball 4. So Rao gets away from Batts, and Augusta has the game's first walk. And they have the leadoff hitter aboard for the first time. Here's Hunter Boos. .347 hitter. He's the senior from Evans, Georgia. First pitch, showing bunt, pulls back, takes for a called strike. Boos wears the captain patch on his jersey. His teammates have his back there. Sounds like they're booing him from the dugout. They're actually saying his last name, Boos. Spelled B-O-O-S-E.
Seems like there's a lot of personality and a lot of character in both these dugouts today.
Swing up to bunt again. He did offer at it. Snap throw goes down to first. Tillo not able to pick off Nick Rao. No balls, 2 strikes. The pitch, curveball, just got a piece of it. Hunter Boos almost fooled by that pitch.
Yeah, that was a nice pitch there by Batts. Keeping him guessing.
Batts struck out 2 in the first inning. The first and 5th batters he faced today. Also allowed 2 base hits and 1 walk.
Yeah, he did a good job that last inning holding the Jags scoreless. They had 2 base runners in place with 1 out, and he was able to get out of the inning unscathed.
Boos takes outside. Lefty on the mound, righty in the batter's box. The 1-2 pitch swung on, hit well into deep center field. Rivera goes back to the warning track, makes the catch with his heels on the dirt, throws it back in. Nick Rao has to go all the way back. A very long out for Hunter Boos.
It took just about every inch in the Sammy Cox Field to hold that one.
Well, it's 400 feet to straightaway center. 325 down the left field line, 335 to right.
Anywhere else on that field and that ball's gone.
Curveball misses high. At the plate now, Jim Wagner, the left fielder for Augusta. 370 batting average for Wagner. He's a junior and a transfer from East Georgia.
Pretty impressive.
3 triples, no home runs though this season. Pickoff throw goes over to first. Back in safely is Rao. Hitting on deck for the Jags is Tyler Roberts, their number 9 hitter. Middle infield at double play depth. That comes with the breaking ball, misses inside.
And what can you do when the opposing team's 9th guy is still hitting clearly above 300?
It makes it hard to try to pitch around any one guy, I'll tell you that much. Probably won't see many intentional walks today. The 2-0 is in there for a called strike at the bottom part of the strike zone. Rao over there on first. He's 2 of 3 on stolen base attempts. Hasn't tried much this year.
Seems like he's been at first for a little while now.
Fastball, called strike 2. Rao has started all 44 games for the Jags and has attempted just 3 stolen bases. But as a left-handed pitcher, when you come set, you're looking right at the guy on first base. It's hard not to at least be a little bit more cautious.
Yeah, definitely.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Number 8 hitter Jim Wagner at the plate. The pitch, the runner goes, swinging and a miss. He is retired for the second out.
Looks like he decided to go for the steal after all.
So Rao is able to advance to second.
The shortstop.
Tutillo, I can't tell if he hung on or why the umpire said that the batter was out. Perhaps that he ruled that the batter was just swinging to try to distract the catcher. But if that's the case, then I'm not sure the runner would be allowed to advance.
Yeah. No,
Either way, we're on to number 9 hitter Tyler Roberts. He takes strike 1 on the outside corner. Tyler Roberts, sort of like another leadoff hitter in the number 9 spot. He struck out just 7 times in 147 at-bats this year. The 0-1. Lays down a bunt to the third base side, comes charging in Buffkin, no throw, as he was not expecting that. An infield bunt base hit for Tyler Roberts puts runners at the corners with 2 away in the Augusta half of the second.
It's kind of mind-blowing there to see a bunt with 2 outs. Definitely caught me by surprise, and looks like it caught the Braves defense by surprise as well.
Tyler Roberts is a .313 hitter, so certainly not a weak bat by any stretch of the imagination, but able to bunt for a base hit.
Pretty nice bunt there.
Doesn't get better than that when defense isn't expecting it. He laid down a picture-perfect bunt in the situation.
Goodness. If you were going to teach a class on bunting, that would be the model.
Back to the top of the order with Clint Hardy, who grounds this one towards third. Buffkin charges it in plenty of time. The throw to first is in time. And again, Augusta held off the scoreboard in the second inning. The Jags do leave a runner on third and a runner on first. Braves will be looking for their first base runner when they come up to bat in the bottom of the second. No score.
We often get the question, where does the money go? More than 90% of NCAA revenue supports 89 championships and more than 1,100 member schools that give $2.7 billion in scholarships each year. Look around you. There are more than 450,000 student athletes competing every year, succeeding on the field, in the classroom, and in life. Bottom line, we put our money where our mission is.
UNCP will have their 4, 5, and 6 hitters drop this inning to face Augusta starter Will Thompson. Thompson set the Braves down in order in the bottom of the first inning. But meanwhile, his team hasn't been able to provide any run support yet. They've gotten more base runners than the Braves, but hasn't led to anything yet. No score through an inning and a half in Pembroke. With Brandon Blakeney, I'm Cameron Songer. Thank you for joining us on the Braves Broadcast Network for Senior Day for UNCP Baseball.
Yeah, and I've been pretty impressed with Daniel Batts so far, getting out of 2 innings and stranding a couple base runners while doing it.
Drew Beaver leads off for the Braves. The junior is hitting .318 this season as he started 42 of the Braves games thus far.
He's been performing pretty well in the cleanup spot since he's taken over that role this season.
Good check over to first. He did not swing. The 3 games Beaver missed, by the way, because of illness. Infield comes in on him. He swings and misses. He actually gets a piece of it. Not sure why the infield is all playing in. Perhaps expecting him to try to bunt for a base hit. You see the cleanup hitter try to do that. Swings and misses there.
Yeah, not typically.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Beaver has 10 doubles, a triple, and 7 home runs this year. He leads the Braves in long balls. 29 runs batted in.
And that's what you like to see from your cleanup guy.
High and away. It's a little surprising to see Beaver with the team lead in home runs and still be more than 20 runs batted in behind team leader Sibel Aliman Saba. Swings and misses there. The drop to third, strike, they throw over to first and get Drew Beaver. So the first strikeout of the day for Will Thompson. And he's sat down all 4 Braves hitters he's faced thus far.
And it just seems like this defense hasn't had to work too hard yet in this one. I mean, all the outs have been pretty routine. They're making it look easy.
Oh, there's only been 2 defenders who hadn't been involved. The first 2 outs were recorded by way of a fly ball to center, and the last 8, an unassisted ground out to third. That was in the first inning, and then obviously a strikeout there. Reminds me of Satchel Paige, at least a story. I don't know about this firsthand. I'm not sure video exists of this. Pitching in the Negro Leagues, where he would, 1 by 1, as he was facing a batter, called his defenders out. Said, okay, you know, outfield, you can go sit down. This guy's not hitting it to the outfield. Then told his infield to go sit down as well, to the point where he was pitching. There was no defense behind him, as in any hit, if the hitter was able to put it in play, would have been a serious problem. And then, of course, he struck the guy out because he was a Hall of Fame pitcher.
Goodness.
Nick Debo at the plate. He's quickly ahead 3-0.
You gotta have a lot of confidence in your abilities to do something like that.
And as Satchel Paige would have said, it's not bragging if you can do it.
Very true.
3-0 to Debo, taking all the way as a called strike. Nick Debo, a .357 hitter. 66 hits, 9 doubles, 2 triples, and 9 home runs.
And he's leading the team this year in home runs after not even being a starter last year. So Coach O'Neill's called on him, and he stepped up in a big way.
A lot of powerful bats in the back half of the Braves order. Buffkin, Pierce, Snyder, and Ali Mansab all have 5. As Debo swings and misses. Great pitching by Will Thompson. He battles back from 3-0, throws 3 straight strikes. Debo goes down swinging. Back-to-back Ks for Will Thompson. There's 2 away.
That's impressive, and it seems like he's getting a rhythm going now.
So Christian Snyder will try to come in and break that rhythm. The Braves' first baseman, the only senior in the batting order today for the Black and Gold, a .333 hitter. He's got 46 hits, 7 doubles, and 5 home runs. 30 runs batted in. Lefty-lefty matchup. Will Thompson rocks and throws. Off-speed pitch, called a strike.
And he's wasting no time getting ahead in the count.
He apparently didn't like going from a 3-0 count there, so decides not to do it again. And he'll be working from an 0-2 count here with Snyder.
Tough call there. See if Snyder can break the seal and get something going for this Braves offense.
Thompson winds and throws the 0-2 pitch. Swung on, tipped foul by Christian Snyder. He stays alive.
Snyder battling at the plate there.
Dattilo waits on deck if the Braves keep this inning alive. Snyder pops it up, shallow center field. In no man's land, but it hangs up long enough for Hardy to make the catch. So that trend continues. Augusta's only needed 2 defenders so far. They've gotten the first 6 outs, the first 6 Braves batters they've faced. Through 2 innings, no score at Sammy Cox Field. This is UNCP Braves baseball. Top of the 3rd inning, no score between the Braves and Augusta Jags on Senior Day as the Braves go for a sweep of this weekend series in the Peach Belt Conference. With Brendan Blakeney, I'm Cameron Songer. Thank you for joining us. 2, 3, and 4 hitters due up for Augusta. Drew Taylor, Connor Gilbert, and Cole Thompson. They work to try to plate that first run against Daniel Batts.
Yeah, we have a pretty unique pitching battle going on here. Thompson's still pitching the no-hitter. And Batts
this one hit high in the air towards left field. On the run, Pierce near the foul line makes the catch. So 1 pitch, 1 out for Batts. Drew Taylor's retired for the first time after he singled his first time up.
Nolan Pierce has been busy today in left field, I'll tell you.
A couple balls hit out his way. Both of the base hits that Augusta had in that first inning were hit there. Now Connor Gilbert will come up and try to get his second hit. He had the second hit of the first inning. Batts taking his time, now ready with the pitch. Fastball inside, called a strike. Gilbert thought he was too far inside. The umpire says, nope, that was over the plate. Gilbert is a senior from Woodstock, Georgia. Transfer from Gordon College. The 0-1, swings, hits it right back up the middle. All Batts can do is duck out of the way as it rolls into center field. 1 out single for Connor Gilbert. He's now 2 for 2 with a pair of singles.
Ooh, yeah, good thing Batts got out of the way of that one because that ball was hit hard.
The way that ball was hit, it was headed towards the left shoulder of Batts. Yeah. And if you're a right-handed pitcher, you might try to stick the glove up. But because Batts is a left-handed pitcher, that's his throwing arm, get out of the way. Don't try to make the spectacular play.
Yeah,
Just get ready for the next batter. All 1 thrown to Cole Thompson, who is that next batter. One of the best defensive catchers in the Peach Belt Conference as he led the PBC in runners caught stealing last year. He's also a .373 hitter this year, so that's also not bad.
Yeah, not too shabby.
0 for 1 at the plate here today. 1-0 pitch comes home, misses high and outside. Gilbert over on first is a perfect 4 of 4 on stolen base attempts this year.
That's pretty impressive stat as well.
Not a large number for the first baseman in terms of attempts, but can't argue with 4 for 4.
Yeah, and I'm not really sure how many first basemen around the Peach Belt are stealing bases anyways.
UNCP's first baseman Christian Snyder, for example, has not attempted a stolen base.
Not typically a position of speed.
Thompson at the plate. Bats on the mound. Gilbert on first with 1 out. The pitch hit in the air towards right field. It hangs up there on a line straight to Nick Debo. A very routine play there for the Braves right fielder as there's 2 away. Hit pretty well on a line.
Yeah.
That ball never got too high. I don't think it got much more than maybe 2 feet above the fence level, which I think is about 8 feet.
Kind of just a line drive to Debo out there, and he was able to corral it.
So Jamal Cummings now comes to the plate. 2 outs, a runner on first. No score in the top of the 3rd inning. Big curveball, misses high.
Sounds like some of the Pembroke faithful are not agreeing with the ball being called there.
Pitch fouled off into the net. Evens up the count at 1-1. But yeah, back to that last curveball. It looked like it dropped right in where Datillo was holding his mitt. The problem with that is A, he was holding his mitt a little bit high, and B, because it's a curveball, it falls a little bit more from where it crosses home plate to where it reaches the catcher's mitt. And that difference enough to be called a ball rather than a strike. Another curveball, this one chopped weakly in the infield, a slow roller, and mishandled by Batts as he came charging towards the first base line. I believe they'll score that one in error.
And you just hate to make an error in that situation. I mean, you need 1 more out to get out of this inning. Pretty routine play.
I believe they will score out a hit, in fact.
Whoa.
It would have been a very tough play for Batts as it was just near foul territory. They will score that an infield single for Jamal Cummings. Gilbert now leads off of second. This ball laced into left field. Pierce comes up throwing. The play at the plate with Gilbert trying to score. The tag applied, not in time. And Augusta scores the game's first run. 1-0 Jags on the RBI single by Nick Rao.
Close call there, but that was a heck of a throw. And very exciting play at the plate there. Really close.
We'll see if Paul O'Neill has anything to say to our home plate umpire. Looks like he does not. Stay perched in the Braves dugout. Third baseman Hunter Booz now comes up to the plate. 2-out rally going here for the Jags. They've got runners on first and second, 2 away, and now a 1-0 lead. Bats with the pitch. Fastball called a strike on the outer half.
It's good to see him come back after that last hit, just throwing hard and attacking the next batter. It's a pitch you got to have a short memory, and you got to just shake off the little things.
And he left a mistake pitch up in the zone. Nick Rao punished him, picked up the RBI. It's RBI number 33 on the season for Rao. This ball popped up, a can of corn in right field for Debo. He fights off the sun, makes the catch for the 3rd out. But the Jags do strike for 1 run. We're through 2.5 at Sammy Cox Field. Augusta 1, UNC Pembroke 0.
What you've gained as a student will be just as important to you as what you did as a player. As long as you know that you made the effort to do the best of which you're capable, there's no failure. Success on 3.
There are over 400,000 NCAA student athletes. And just about all of us will be going pro in something other than sports.
Braves still looking for their first base runner as they come to bat in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Get that first base runner, and now the first run for UNCP, which would tie the game. They trail Augusta 1-0 on senior day at Sammy Cox Field. With Brandon Blakeney, I'm Cameron Songer. It'll be Justin Datillo, Nolan Pierce, and Hayden Buffkin due up for the Braves.
Cameron, I'm honestly surprised it took until the 3rd inning for us to see one of these high-powered offense produce a run.
We talked about it at the very beginning of the broadcast. Just one hitter in these two 9-man batting orders that is hitting below 300. It's Nolan Pearson. He's at 288, which isn't bad.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. A lot of guys would take that and be happy.
Justin Datillo leads off. He's a 327 hitter. Braves catcher in his first year in Pembroke after coming over from Maryland Eastern Shore. Looks at a first pitch called strike from Will Thompson, the lefty for Augusta. Datillo at the plate has had 150 at-bats and 49 hits. 11 doubles, no triples, but 3 home runs. Swings and misses there, 0-2.
Big cut.
So 6 hits, producing 1 run for Augusta. No errors for either team, and the Braves don't have any hits. The 0-2, just a bit high.
Yeah, Thompson's been pretty solid in this one for the Jags, not surrendering any hits, and he's been doing what you need to do as a starter, just throwing strikes and letting his defense work.
And there's another strike. It's strike 3 looking to Justin Datillo. 3 strikeouts now in the game for Will Thompson. And those 2 strikeouts coming in the last 4 hitters he's faced after the Braves in the first inning went 1-2-3, but put everything in play.
The guy's rolling.
Now, Will Thompson walking off the field. Oh, his belt snapped. Look at that. He threw that ball so hard that he pitched himself right out of his belt. So he needs a new belt on his jersey.
You do not see that every day. Gosh. Putting some heat on the ball. That's intense.
Nolan Pierce has to wait to bat now, as our pitcher Will Thompson needs a new belt for his baseball pants. I'm not sure what that was. When he was walking on the field, he was holding something up. I thought it was like a keychain. Like, did he forget that he had his keys or, you know, his ID or something?
Yeah.
It looked like a lanyard that he was holding in his hand. It was actually his belt, which fell off of his pants.
He might need that.
You never know what you're going to see in a baseball game.
Very true.
You think you've seen it all, and then something like what happened in Chicago happens in Major League Baseball this week. A first in Major League Baseball. A triple play that went, I believe it was 9-3-2. I forget exactly what it was, but it was the first time that play had ever happened. Yeah.
It was miraculous.
Pierce hits this ball into left center field, caught by Wagner, and there's 2 away. You would think that just about anything, I mean, Major League Baseball is not a young sport.
No, not by any means.
And I know that there's certain things that they haven't been keeping track of forever, but scoring-wise, I believe that there's some archive somewhere that has every scoring play that goes back, you know, score sheets that they've scanned in digitally, whatever, from the 1880s when Major League Baseball was still in its infancy. And the fact that that combination of plays had never happened before.
In over a century, it's really hard to believe.
Well, triple plays are pretty rare, I guess. But still, you'd think that each team playing 162 games, 30 teams in the league.
It's funny. It would be the White Sox to be the first one to complete that play.
Hayden Buffkin is at the plate. He's ahead 2-0. The junior's hitting .315 this year for the Braves. He started every game but 1 for the Black and Gold. Takes there. Called ball 3. So he should be looking at something to hit, as Will Thompson will try to avoid seeing the lineup turn back over.
That's a good eye and good patience there by Buffkin. Just waiting it out and waiting on his pitch, not swinging at anything out of the zone.
Thompson with the 3-0 offering. And that's a 4-pitch walk. Just missed it inside. Thought he was going to go right over the middle with that. The Braves have their first base runner. It comes by way of a 2-out walk. And the 9th batter that had come to the plate. So no more perfect game for Will Thompson. He's perfect through 2 2/3.
We'll see if Rivera, the offensive spark plug for this team, can come in and do something with this runner in position.
Hayden Buffkin is on first. Roberto Rivera to the plate. Sophomore from Millville, New Jersey, a transfer from St. Augustine's.
He's one of only 2 underclassmen in this lineup. A bunch of juniors, 1 senior. Him and Pierce, the lone sophomores for the Braves.
Rivera takes there. It's in the dirt. Nice block by Thompson behind the plate. Again, Thompson and Thompson.
On the connection.
Probably no relation. You never know. They could be like distant third cousins or something.
True. Very true. There's some interesting batting gloves Rivera's down there sporting.
They're very bright.
Yeah, different color combination there.
This one misses inside, and that will draw a mound visit from catcher Cole Thompson to talk to pitcher Will Thompson. It's just 6 straight balls thrown by your pitcher, and usually a pretty good time to come and talk things over.
Yeah.
Reminder that the Braves haven't hit you yet. Braves have had a couple of balls that were hit well in the field, but that was in the first inning. Since then, it's been more or less lights out for Will Thompson.
Yeah, he's definitely settled in this one so far.
2-0 is hit on the ground to second base, scooped up by Rao. The throw to first is in time. So still no hits for the Braves through 3 innings. They do get a base runner, can't do anything with it. Through 3 innings at Sammy Cox Field, Augusta 1, UNC Pembroke 0. Augusta has been consistent so far through the first 3 innings. They've left 2 runners on in each of the first 3 innings. So looking at this score right now, if you're a Braves fan, it really could be a lot worse.
Yeah, very true. Bats has done a manageable job holding it down on the mound, and he's got to be satisfied with this 1-run deficit. Not to say you should be satisfied with a deficit, but it could be much worse, like you said.
Well, part of the problem is that the 1 run that scored came after a play that might have maybe been able to score at an error where Bats wasn't able to cleanly field just a dribbler in the infield.
Yeah, and that hurts too, because I mean the Braves had 2 outs, and that's just you trying to get out of the inning there.
Instead, the next guy came up and knocked in a base hit after Jamal Cummings reached on that little dribbler. So the Jags have a 1-0 lead as we're through 3 innings. Start at the top of the 4th now. It'll be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters coming up for the Jags. Jim Wagner, Tyler Roberts, and Clint Hardy. Lefty-lefty matchup as Bats back to work. First pitch outside, 1-0.
And Bats is going to have to come out here strong facing the top of this lineup for the Jags. A lot of power here.
The 1-0. Bit inside. Jim Wagner, the sophomore, is a left-handed hitter. He throws right-handed, 5'11", 170 pounds. Calls Stone Mountain, Georgia, his hometown, out of Parkview High School. Fouls this off. Wagner struck out his first time up, so just trying to put the ball in play here, start something for Augusta. The 1 inning they had the leadoff man on base was the 2nd. Nick Rao started off with a walk and got stranded on 3rd. 2-1 pitch, a little bit low.
Not a bad spot to miss there, just trying to get him to chase a little bit.
A 3-1 for Bats. That's low for ball 4. And for the 2nd time in 4 innings, Daniel Bats allows a leadoff walk. This time Jim Wagner gets on base.
And it looked like that pitch was in the exact same spot as the previous one.
So here's the number 9 hitter, Tyler Roberts. Guy who's only struck out 7 times this season. In 148 at bats, he's 1 for 1 in this game with a single. Roberts, a junior from Fayetteville, Georgia. Pitch bunted towards the right side. Charged by Salisbury. The throw as he falls to the ground, not able to get it to Snyder in time. And it's a bunt base hit for Tyler Roberts.
And it just looks like Salisbury left it a little short on the throw there. But another well-executed bunt by the Jags. Must be an emphasis in practice.
And that bunt really slowed down on the grass as Salisbury, either that or he got a bad jump on it. Something, because he really took him a while to get to that ball. And by the time he had it in his throwing hand and tried to make some kind of play, Roberts was almost all the way to the bag. So back to the top of the order. The first two guys getting on base for Augusta. Wagner's on second, Roberts on first. Here's Clint Hardy again. He's 0 for 2. Bats pitch. Fastball outside corner, called a strike. Clint Hardy in his second year with Augusta after being named to the first team All-Peach Belt Conference last year. Transferred in from Western Kentucky by way of Evans, Georgia. 0-1 pitch on the way to Hardy with no outs. Looks at a curveball, and it's in the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike, no outs. First and second for the Jags as they try to add to a 1-0 lead. They already have 7 hits. The Braves don't have any yet. Bats from the stretch. The pitch hit high in the air towards right field. Debo goes back to the wall. It's a one-hopper off the McDonald's sign. That will score 1-0. Boy, he slowed up as he came around. Throwing home, sliding in, safe. Jim Wagner. That was a base-running adventure there as he scored from second. He thought he was being held up at third. The problem was Tyler Roberts was right behind him. It's a double for Clint Hardy, an RBI, and Augusta goes up 2-0.
Yeah, that was a very interesting sequence there of base running.
So you can put the hit on the highlight reel for Augusta, but then you want to cut it right there because nothing else about that play was nice. Maybe if you had a camera that was just following Clint Hardy, sure, yeah, you could do that as he has his double. But other than that, wow, that was something for Augusta. The Braves not able to record an out, though. Second and third, and Drew Taylor comes to the plate. Bats misses high with his fastball.
Still no outs here, too, with 2 base runners in scoring position. So we'll see if Bats can work out of this one.
As Datillo comes over to the mound to talk with Bats. Hardy, that last base knock was his 9th double and 30th run batted in on the season. Shows you the advantage of drawing that leadoff walk as Jim Wagner came around to score following a pair of hits. Roberts now stands on third. Hardy on second following the double. Drew Taylor at the plate. He's 1 for 2 so far today. He had the game's first hit with 1 out in the first inning. Lefty on the mound, righty in the batter's box. The 1-0 offering. In there for a called strike. Zipped a fastball right past. Nothing Drew Taylor wanted to do with that.
No, but he just watched that one go by.
From the stretch, here's the 1-1 from Bats. In the dirt, blocked well by Datillo. Oh, he takes out the umpire as the back foot kind of comes sliding down. Call it a ball, everyone's okay. And look at that, the fist bump from home plate umpire Alan McGee.
Showing some good spirit. He's a good sport.
That was pitch number 63 for Daniel Bats. Remember, he hasn't been a starter all year. He just recently joined the starting rotation for the Braves. This is only his 4th start.
Yeah, and he's provided some extra depth for this
Ball
rotation.
hit right back up the middle by Taylor. That will score easily. Roberts from third. The throw home is cut off. It's a 2-run single for Drew Taylor as Clint Hardy slides in safe. Augusta doubles their lead. It's 4-0.
We talked about this high-powered offense of the Jags. 3 runs here and still no outs for this Braves defense. So we'll see if Bats and his guys can get it together.
Perhaps more worryingly for UNC Pembroke, no action yet in the home bullpen. This will draw a mound visit from Paul O'Neill. See if anybody makes their way over towards the bullpen. See a couple guys starting to trot over there to get warmed up, but we'll see what the strategy here is at this point as they talk things over. Because at least for another batter or two, You've got to assume it's going to be Daniel Batts.
Yeah, something's got to be done because you just don't want this game to get out of reach early. I mean, 4 runs still not too much to overcome with this Braves lineup and how much firepower they do bolster, but still, you got to get some outs here early.
Georgia College 4, Young Harris nothing. Near the bottom of the 5th inning, Florence Francis Marion.
Listening to the Peach Belt Conference scoreboard, one of the teams to keep an eye on, obviously UNCP in a 3-way tie for 7th. 2 of those 3 teams will get into the Peach Belt Conference tournament between UNCP, Flagler, and Francis Marion. But all of those teams not far behind number 6 Georgia College. So watching not just Georgia College, but also Flagler and Francis Marion.
Yeah, something to keep an eye on there. A lot of Peach Belt action today.
Rapidly approaching the end of the Peach Belt Conference season. One more conference weekend series for every team. That'll be next weekend. The Braves will be in Columbus, Georgia, to take on the conference leader and number 14 national team, Columbus State. Connor Gilbert fouls this one off. Gilbert is 2 for 2 already today with 2 singles, and he scored the first run last inning for Augusta. Still no outs as the first 4 batters this inning for the Jags have reached base. 3 of them have scored.
Yeah, pretty nice hitting expedition that they're putting on right now.
No balls, 1 strike to Gilbert. First baseman for the Jags. Takes that one just a little bit low. Pretty close. Gilbert able to hold back and not pull the trigger. Gilbert, the 6-foot, 220-pound senior from Woodstock, Georgia. This is a 1-1 count. The runner on first is Taylor. He's not going. A big curveball. Strike 2 at the letters.
Pretty pitch there. Nice placement from Batts.
Got to be a little bit careful with the curveballs when the idea is to keep it high in the zone. If you drop it too much, it hangs right over the middle.
And you don't want that because that can be trouble.
At this level, guys will crush a hanging breaking ball. Popped up, foul, out of play by Connor Gilbert. Make it 1 ball and 2 strikes still. Four runs, 9 hits, no errors for Augusta. No runs, no hits, no errors for UNCP. Top of the 4th inning. Still no outs this frame for Augusta. 3 runs already across. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Gilbert. Swings, hits it in the air towards the right side, hooking foul. And it stays in the field of play, but is a foul ball. Wind blowing gently from right to left. Just a lazy breeze on a gorgeous April afternoon. Temperature in the mid-70s. Not a cloud in the sky. Can't really imagine it being much better. Unless if you're a Braves fan, then you want to see the Braves not being trailing 4-0. You'd rather see that the other way.
Yeah, exactly.
1-2 hit off the end of the bat towards second. Salisbury scoops, throws to second for 1. Beaver gets taken out by a hard slide. And they will call that interference on Drew Taylor. So 2 outs recorded there. Drew Taylor not happy with that call. But absolutely the right call. Drew Beaver.
That's a base hit, though.
Just got taken out by a hard slide.
Now you've seen a lot of rule changes and adjustments being made, even at the professional level of the game, to keep plays like that from happening. Remember last year, Dustin Pedroia of the Phillies was injured on a similar play.
Augusta head coach Jason Eller just making sure he understands the ruling on that call. Curveball. Called a strike to Cole Thompson. That last play again, Drew Taylor called for interference as he came sliding into second base, which means that the batter was out. 2 balls, no strikes now to Cole Thompson, who's 0 for 2 at the plate. That was because Drew Taylor went in for a very aggressive slide to try to break up a double play, but it was outside the bounds of a legal slide. Because of that, Connor Gilbert probably would have beaten out a throw to first if it would just been a clean slide, but Drew Taylor not taking any chances. He went very aggressively. Actually, the count 2 balls and 1 strike.
He's trying to help his teammate out there. Just a little too aggressive.
Strike 2 called at the knees on Cole Thompson.
And nice pitch here there by Bats. He's continued to battle in this inning and really hasn't given up much since that last play that resulted in the 2 runs.
Once you give up 3 runs in an inning, there's a runner on first and no outs, you reach a point where you make a decision. Do you pack it in and just kind of throw and hope for the best, or do you keep trying to bring your best stuff, trust yourself, and really consciously limit the damage? And that's what Daniel Batts has done here this inning.
Yeah, definitely proven to be a true hurler up there.
Ball lined in towards right field. Debo reads it, makes the catch for the 3rd out, but Augusta strikes for 3 runs in the top of the 4th inning. We're through 3.5 in Pembroke. It's 4-0 Jags.
We often get the question, where does the money go? More than 90% of NCAA revenue supports 89 championships and more than 1,100 member schools that give $2.7 billion in scholarships each year. Look around you. There are more than 450,000 student athletes competing every year, succeeding on the field, in the classroom, and in life. Bottom line, we put our money where our mission is.
Nick Salisbury, Stabel Ali Mansaba, and Drew Beaver drew up this inning to try to figure out Will Thompson out there on the mound. He struck out 3, walked just 1, hasn't allowed a base hit yet after 1 trip through the Braves batting order. The Braves continue their 2nd cycle around the batting lineup.
And it's pretty impressive on Will Thompson's part, still holding these Braves hitless so far. Something that hasn't been able to be done a lot this season.
And Nick Salisbury leads off for the Black and Gold. Junior from Charlotte, North Carolina. Is a transfer from Liberty. He's a switch hitter. Stands at just 5'5". His teammates call him Steak because of the last name Salisbury.
Pretty creative there.
I guess as far as baseball nicknames go, it's pretty creative.
Yeah.
Not that outlandish, I suppose. You know, the standard formula for creating a baseball nickname is you take your last name and add a Y to it. Unfortunately for them, his nickname already ends, or his last name already ends in Y, so you can't really be Salisbury.
Very true.
I mean, I suppose you could. It would just that's just way too many syllables.
It'd be kind of odd. Odd to say.
Not too many Braves names, at least in today's batting order, really lend themselves well to that formula. Ooh, fastball was about 5 feet short of home plate from Will Thompson. That bounced, I believe, off the catcher or the umpire or both.
Yeah, looks like that one just got away from him.
Would have been a nice pitch if you were talking about a Little League field where the mound is about 45 feet away instead of 60.
True. Got the Little League World Series coming up in a couple months.
One of the best events of the year, always. In terms of just drama, bang for your buck in terms of time, because it's just a 6-inning game.
Exactly. You can sit down, catch a game, and those kids leave it all on the field.
Kids who dream of playing at a level like this, being able to continue your baseball career and continue your education as well. Nick Salisbury earns the walk there on 5 pitches. Cole Thompson come out to visit Will Thompson again. Thompson & Thompson is the pitching and catching battery. And now pitching coach Chris Howell will also come out to talk to pitcher and catcher, as that was not a pretty at-bat from the pitching standpoint.
No.
Just a lot of balls that missed. That's where you go and check in on the pitcher mechanics, I think. It's not a strategy thing. This is actually probably more of a coaching thing.
Exactly. I mean, with baseball, it's all about repetition.
Bottom line is for the Braves, they have the leadoff hitter aboard for the first time this game. Nick Salisbury earning a walk. For Salisbury, that's walk number 19 on the season. He's one of the team leaders in that category, second on the Braves, behind just Roberto Rivera. Here's Stabel Aliman Saba, Braves junior designated hitter, a transfer from Patrick Henry Community College out of Richmond, Virginia.
He's been a huge boost for the Braves lineup as well. Very big bat in the DH spot, hit number 3.
Infield a double play depth, and they're shading hard towards the right side. So we see the shortstop just a little bit off behind second base, and the second baseman deep in the hole, even closer to first base than usual. No balls, 1 strike to Aliman Saba. He can go opposite field. He's got a lot of real estate.
Ooh.
Instead, he hits this ball high and deep to right field. If it's fair, it's gone, and it is a fair ball. 2-run home run, Stabel Aliman Saba. It's now a 4-2 ball game.
Big shot there. Finally, the Braves breathe some life into this offense and show some fight.
The first hit of the afternoon for UNCP is a round tripper. Stabel Aliman Saba goes deep. For Aliman Saba, home run number 6, RBIs number 51 and 52. He's having a great year in that category.
Goodness. Big hit. Just a tater over the right field fence.
Aliman Saba's had quite a few of those. He really likes the right field porch at Sammy Cox Field. The best one came in a game against Georgia Southwestern. I believe it was the second game of the 3-game weekend series. It was a late game. The lights were on. I remember it very clearly. And he had a heck of a bat flip.
Yeah.
Just one that you knew jumping off the bat. We were broadcasting that. We had the video going. And we're not ever sure that that ball came down. We don't have video evidence of the fact the ball ever landed. He might have put it into orbit, is what I'm saying.
Out there somewhere. Still.
Drew Beaver at the plate now. Takes strike 2 at the knees. Beaver's 0 for 1 at the plate in this game. Struck out swinging in the second.
And he has a big act to follow after that last home run, so we'll see if he can keep this momentum going for the Braves.
0-2 misses the outside corner. Beaver, a junior from Lexington, North Carolina. North Davidson High School. This ball hit into left field, just dropped it quickly, and it's in there for a base hit. So it took the Braves a little while to get their first hit, but now they have back-to-back base hits.
Yeah, it seems like they're getting things rolling now.
Going back to Lexington, North Carolina, the hometown of Drew Beaver. There are way too many places in this part of the country. Now, I'm not from the South. There's a Lexington, North Carolina. There's a Fayetteville, Arkansas, a Fayetteville, Georgia, and a Fayetteville, North Carolina.
And Lexington's not too far from my hometown of Winston. They're known pretty well for their barbecue, so obviously baseball as well.
Now, granted, I come from Southern California where everything has a Spanish name. And sometimes those Spanish names are just a little bit silly because they just pick it feels like, they open the dictionary to a random word.
Yeah.
And you name your town or your street or your neighborhood after that. But
only so many names to go around, I guess.
One would think, I don't know. Bottom line, I'm glad I'm not responsible for naming of things.
Yeah.
That most people, the most important decision they'll ever make is naming their child. And even then, they're not solely responsible for that. That's usually a team decision there.
Yeah, definitely a group effort.
Nick Depot's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Certainly think about some people who name their children. You wish that they would include more people in that decision because you look at obviously the jokes have been made about celebrity baby names. I'm not going to go on that whole tangent. That's a story for another day. But for some of those, you wish maybe they would include somebody else in the thought process of what you're going to name your kid.
Just to get another opinion on the matter.
But some towns and places also, I think, have that thing. Well, one good story about that. Family went on vacation years ago in Colorado. There's a place called No Name, Colorado. It's spelled Noname.
Wow.
And there's various local legends at two competing schools of thought. One that'll tell you it's a Native American tribe, or that's something the Native Americans used, a small Native American tribe, and that was what they called either a river or a tree or something. The other story, the more cynical story, will tell you that cartographers were coming and naming places and labeling things in Colorado, figuring out where the mountains were and where the rivers were, and they just kind of designated an area that hadn't been named yet.
Yeah.
And wrote out no name. And someone else mistook it and thought that should have been the name of the town. Thought that it was actually called Nonami, or as Nick Debo goes down looking for the first down of the inning.
There was actually a ESPN like E60 on that town a while back, if I'm not mistaken. Nowhere.
Oh, well, yeah, nowhere. That's different. I don't remember where that is, but anyway, back to the game. Christian Snyder takes strike one on the outside corner, and Drew Beaver dives back in safely.
Getting the jersey a little dirty over at first.
Lefty-lefty matchup here with Snyder at the plate. He's 0 for 1 with a flyout so far today. Another pickoff throw over to first. Drew Beaver scampers back in. Didn't see that many pickoff throws during the last at-bat. I'm not sure why suddenly Will Thompson is so worried about Drew Beaver over on first. But he is. He has the right to try those pickoff throws. Off-speed pitch on 0-1, misses high.
What I learned playing baseball growing up is the disadvantage of lefty pitchers. If you do see that back foot come up, then you automatically know that he's going for a pickoff.
Christian Snyder at the plate, the senior from Liberty, North Carolina. Transfer from Lewisburg College. Runner goes, swung on and missed. The throw down to second is on time, and the tag applied as Drew Beaver caught stealing. Gunned down by Cole Thompson. He led the Peach Belt Conference in runners caught stealing a year ago, and on the first runner who tries him here today, he gets thrown out.
What's the count, Blue?
Goodness, that was a heck of a throw there. Beware runners. Cole Thompson has a cannon.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Now the base is empty and 2 away, and Snyder looks at that one. Strike 3, ring him up. The Braves do score 2 on the 2-run blast by Stabel Aliman Saba through 4 innings in Pembroke. It's Augusta 4, UNCP 2. All right, so Brandon, we were looking at this game thinking it was going to be a high-scoring affair. We got through 2 innings. There had been no runs scored. We got through 3 innings. There had only been 1 run scored. And that 4th inning, offense has decided to wake up.
Yeah.
3 in the top of the inning for Augusta, 2 in the bottom of the inning for the Braves as we enter the top of the 5th It's 4-2 Jags. And I think that's one of those be careful what you wish for. We wanted to see some offense, and the Jags have been the ones producing more so far.
Yeah.
Jamal Cummings, Nick Rao, and Hunter Booz do up this inning for Augusta. Midway through their third cycle through the batting order already. Big swing and a miss by Cummings.
He might have wanted that one a little too badly.
The bottom just fell off of that curveball. Off the release, he thought that was going to hang. This one hangs, and he drops it into right center field. It rolls, towards the wall. Rivera cuts it off, takes his time throwing it back in. It's a stand-up double for Jamal Cummings to lead off the 5th inning. His second hit of the game, he's now 2 for 3.
And we've seen a couple balls hit like that out in center field that just kind of have that, take a little weird curve to it.
For Augusta, that's their 10th hit of the game. Cummings picking up the double there to start the inning. And that is the 5th double this year for designated hitter Jamal Cummings. Nick Rao now at the plate. He's 1 for 1, walked once, and had an RBI single as well.
Even managed to get himself a stolen base.
First pitch is low. Detillo can't find it. It gets past him. That allows Cummings to take third on the passed ball.
You don't see that too often, especially on the season from Detillo. Usually very reliable on the defensive end behind the plate for UNCP.
No outs, a runner on third. That usually means a run will score here this inning for Augusta. It would take a spectacular effort and some very good pitching from Daniel Batts to prevent this run from coming home. 1 ball, no strikes to Nick Rao. Pitch, swung on, grounded back up the middle, off the mound. It bounces towards short where Beaver can't handle it. Let's see if they score that a hit or an error. I believe that's probably an error.
Yeah, it looked like a pretty routine play there. The ball just kind of got away from him when he tried to make the exchange from glove to hand.
To score that E6 on Drew Beaver allows the run to score. It's now 5-2 Augusta. Infield moves to double play depth. The first pitch in there for a called strike to Hunter Booz. Booz is 0 for 2, a pair of flyouts into the outfield.
He is 0-2 on the day.
Good jump as this one swung on and missed. Rao looked like he had that base stolen.
He's going for another one.
Hunter Booz at the plate. Jim Wagner waits on deck. No outs. Top of the 5th inning. 0-2 count to Hunter Booz. Pitch, swung on, hit right back up the box, drops into center field. Just solid contact there with 2 strikes. That's hit number 11 in the ball game for Augusta. First and second now, the base runners for the Jags. We'll see how much longer of a leash Daniel Batts has.
Yeah, he's been on the rubber battling so far. Got a little shelled in the 4th inning, and now it looks like they may have figured him out, decoded the mystery of Daniel Batts.
Jim Wagner to the plate. He's 0 for 1. He walked last inning to lead off. He came around to score. Struck out his first time up. Batts steps off the rubber. Doesn't make any kind of throw.
And a double play could be huge here, Cameron.
Middle of the infield at that double play depth. Beaver at short, Salisbury at second, both shading towards the bag. This ball lofted right center field on the run. Both Rivera and Debo, neither can get to it as it gets to the wall on a bounce. Jim Wagner crushed that ball. 1 run will score. Here comes the throw. Sliding in, tagged, out. So 1 run does score on the RBI double by Jim Wagner. Hunter Booz thrown out as he tried to score from first. It's now 6-2 Augusta, and there's 1 out in the inning.
I'm starting to think that they just like running bases in single file lines.
That's about the second time we've seen that. And after that last pitch, Paul O'Neill didn't like the way Augusta's been hitting Daniel Batson. I believe this is probably the hook, and it is. Pitching change coming up for the Braves will be Chris Stewart. We'll tell you more about him when we come back.
What you've gained as a student will be just as important to you as what you did as a player. As long as you know that you made the effort to do the best of which you're capable, there's no failure. Success on 3.
There are over 400,000 NCAA student athletes. And just about all of us will be going pro in something other than sports.
I mean, it bounces up there. It bounced off the mountain. Or it bounced off like the... New pitcher for UNCP is senior Chris Stewart. Righty from Batesburg, South Carolina, is making his 8th appearance. He has a 1.35 ERA, no wins, no losses. He's gone 13 in the 3rd innings, given up 13 hits, struck out 12, walked 5. He's given up 8 runs, but just 2 of them have been earned, so he's been run into some bad luck.
Yeah, and we'll see if he can get things back rolling here against Augusta. I mean, it's a tough spot to be thrown into.
Stewart inherits a situation with a runner on second, drew 1 out, and the Braves down 6-2. 2 runs already in this inning. Jamal Cummings led off with a double. Nick Rao had an RBI single. Hunter Booz with a single, and then was thrown out as he tried to score on the RBI double by Jim Wagner. The scoring correction there, that was not an error on Drew Beaver at short. Instead, it was he scored at a base hit for Nick Rao, which means Rao now has 2 hits and 2 runs batted in. Number 9 hitter Tyler Roberts, he's 2 for 2 with 1 run scored. Thanks. Production out of the 9 spot for Roberts out of Fayetteville, Georgia.
Another Fayetteville.
Mentioned that earlier. Yeah, the place name. Oh, the runner goes from second, swung on and missed. Wagner tries to steal third, and he is safe.
Wow.
A steal of third base.
That's a bold move right there.
Especially up by 4 runs.
Goodness.
Roberts offered at the pitch just to try to distract DiTillo, and apparently worked just enough. Infield now will come in to try to cut off this run at home plate. If Roberts is able to just poke this over their heads, he'll have an RBI.
And Jack's still working with only 1 out here. Still some potential in this inning.
Squeeze play. Misfielded by Stewart. The throw goes over to first. The run scores. It's an RBI sack bunt by Tyler Roberts. Make it 7-2 Jags.
He nearly got on base from that play, Cameron. It seems like these bunts have just been giving the Braves infield all kinds of problems today.
Well, good job by Stewart to recover and still record an out on that play. Obviously would have rather tried to get the runner at home, but it was a great jump by Wagner. The squeeze play there for the Jags. They've now scored 3 in back-to-back innings. Take it, it was a 1-0 game, made it 7-2.
Goodness.
This ball hit on the screws, but foul. It's Clint Hardy back at the top of the order. Jags have gone through the batting order 3 times in 5 innings.
Impressive.
13 hits that have yielded 7 runs, no errors for either team. The Braves have 2 runs on 2 hits.
That last one was just foul, but like you said, 13 hits so far in this one, and we're only in the 5th inning. Pretty impressive.
1 pitch from Stewart is called a strike. Get 0-2 to Clint Hardy. Hardy struck out his first time up, then grounded out. Broke through last inning with an RBI double. Bases empty, 2 away in a 7-2 ball game. The pitch just a bit low. Chris Stewart rocks and fires. This ball grounded foul just by a couple inches down the third base line.
He's been flirting with that third base line. We'll see if he looks to go there again. Pulls it.
No adjustment from the Braves defensively. Wonder if they start to slide some guys a little bit more to that left side. But the shortstop and second baseman more or less remain where they are. This one hit right to short. Beaver has it, throw to first just in time. He beats Hardy by a step. And the top of the 5th comes to a close for Augusta, but they add 3 more runs. We're halfway through this one. It's Augusta 7, Braves 2. Bottom of the Braves order, due up in the bottom of the 5th. It'll be Totillo, Pearson, Bufkin, the 7, 8, 9 hitters in today's UNCP lineup. They continue to try to figure out Will Thompson. The Braves took until the 4th inning to get their first base hit. They broke through in a big way with a 2-run homer by Stabel Aliman Saba. Drew Beaver followed up with a single and then was caught stealing. Meanwhile, the Jags have just kept hitting.
Yeah, they've been swinging the bats really well. 13 total team hits so far in this one. 2 back-to-back consecutive 3-run innings. It's pretty impressive what they've been able to do so far.
The Jags have led the whole way. As finally Justin Tillo will make his way to the plate. Home plate umpire Alan McGee didn't like how long it took Tillo to get ready to bat. Just come on. I know it's a nice day. We can be out here working on our tans, but we still have a game to play here. The pitcher has the entire time open. Tillo is the catcher. It's often tough for the catcher to either get on or take off all that equipment in between innings and then either be the last out of an inning or the first batter the next inning. But I believe it's a lot harder to put on the equipment than to take it off. So.
Yeah, very true. Tillo just had the relaxed approach, taking his time, easing his way into the at-bat.
The 1-0. Hit well into left field. That drops in for a hit. Justin Totillo has his first hit of today's game, the 3rd for the Braves this afternoon. Let's see if that starts something for the Braves here in the 5th inning. Down by 5 runs. Want to see something started sooner rather than later.
Exactly. You don't have to get it all back at once, but you'd like to chip into this lead as early as possible.
The Braves did plenty of that in the 2nd game yesterday. Came from behind a couple different times over the course of that game. Went on to win 8-6 in thrilling late inning fashion. But yesterday was a long day of baseball here at Sammy Cox Field. A doubleheader as they had to make up the rain out from Friday.
Yeah, the Friday rain kind of affected a lot of events going on campus here as far as athletics-wise.
Pretty total restructuring of yesterday's Peach Belt Conference track and field championships with the way the rain came in. And I mean, there's rain and then there was rain, and it was the latter on Friday evening. Thunder, lightning, just a downpour, and then it kept raining after that. There was a period where it was just torrential, and then it still drizzled some more after that. No way anybody was competing in anything outdoors in Pembroke.
No, not quite, but luckily we were awarded another beautiful Sunday afternoon.
I would say this is the weather today even better than yesterday. It was actually fairly warm yesterday, about 78, 79, and humid. Today, just perfect.
You know, it's getting to be May. It's getting to be that pool weather, pool season.
Pierce grounds this one towards second. Rao charges, tosses to second for one as Roberts was covering. That'll be all the Jags are able to get. So Nolan Pierce is safe on the fielder's choice. Justin DiTillo out at second for the first out. And he gives way to Hayden Buffkin. A couple local guys, Nolan Pierce from Laurel Hill, North Carolina. Hayden Buffkin from Laurinburg, North Carolina.
Yeah, not too far. Actually, the next county over from us here in Robinson. Laurinburg usually known for football, but obviously they turned out some solid players in baseball as well.
Roberto Rivera is on deck. The Augusta defense remains at double play depth. They'd like another crack at that. After Pierce hit that slow roller, it would have been tough to throw him out as Pierce is so quick up the first base line.
Yeah, exactly. Probably just a better decision to hold it there, eat the pitch.
Buffkin fouls this away. Well, he took that one off his leg, so he'll walk it off. Seven runs on 13 hits so far for Augusta. 2 runs on 4 hits for the Braves, and Buffkin will allow the trainer to come out and take a look at him. Or maybe not. He walked that way and then turned his back. Playing a little cat and mouse, playing hard to get over there.
Yeah.
With the trainer. That's part of the baseball mentality. Is, you rub some dirt on it and keep going.
Guys.
Gotta project that's doesn't hurt and you're fine, but I'll tell you what, that's not a pleasant feeling. Not fun to foul pitches off yourself.
No.
The 0-1. Outside corner for strike 2.
Yeah. Will Thompson's still here going strong. Gave up the 2-run homer in the 4th inning to Aliman Saba, but other than that, he's been pretty proficient on the rubber today for the Jags.
Walked 2, struck out 5 so far. Two. Fouled back. One ball, 2 strikes. Buffkin at the plate. Pierce on first. 1 away in the bottom of the 5th. Braves down by 5. Thompson's pitch. Swung on and missed. That's strikeout number 6 in the game from Will Thompson.
And that was a pretty pitch there. Just blew it right past him.
Back to the top of the order now for UNCP. It's Roberto Rivera, who's 0 for 2 so far. So the Braves starting their 3rd trip through the batting order now in the 5th inning. Augusta, meanwhile, started their 4th trip in that 5th inning. So tells you a lot about the way this game's been going for both teams.
Yeah, a lot of offense on one side, that's for sure.
It's not enough to match it so far today for UNCP, but there's still plenty of time left in this game. But down by 5, you want to see your team cut into that sooner rather than later. Roberto Rivera at the plate. In a 1-0 count. Rivera came into today's game batting .400 right on the nose. Swings, lofts this ball into center field. Hardy barely has to move forward in center, camps out under it, makes the catch, and the Braves are retired in the bottom of the 5th. We'll go to the top of the 6th inning when we come back. It's still a 7-2 Jags lead.
Augusta.
We often get the question, where does the money go? More than 90% of NCAA revenue supports 89 championships and more than 1,100 member schools that give $2.7 billion in scholarships each year. Look around you. There are more than 450,000 student athletes competing every year, succeeding on the field, in the classroom, and in life. Bottom line, we put our money where our mission is.
Top of the 6th, Augusta back at the plate. The last 3 innings, they've sent 6 hitters to the plate. And in the first 2 innings, they sent 5 hitters to the plate each. They just have been getting up and down and have been getting hits in every inning. They've had at least 1 hit in every inning. And in the first 2 innings, they left 2 on base each of those first 3 innings. Those last couple innings, none left on. But bottom line is the Jags have been getting on base and then also punching runs in. 1 in the 3rd, 3 in the 4th, 3 in the 5th.
And it's
Braves.
resulted in extra at-bats for these guys.
Braves had just 2 on the home run in the 4th inning by Stabel Ali-Mansaba as we get the 6th inning underway. It's 7-2 Augusta. First pitch low, ball 1 on Drew Taylor. Taylor is 2 for 3 at the plate today, a couple of singles and 2 runs batted in. Drew Taylor was a second-team All-Peach Belt Conference selection last year, playing like it here today. Swings, knocks this ball into left field, right between 3rd and short, and a leadoff single again for Augusta.
And that's been a continuing trend these last few innings for the Jaguars.
3rd inning in a row where the leadoff man has gotten on base, and shouldn't have to tell you much that the last 2 innings where that happened, they scored 3 runs each of those innings. Braves absolutely cannot afford to see this deficit increase anymore.
No, they have to put a stop to this bleeding and get some more offense going themselves.
Chris Stewart on the mound for the Braves, now facing Connor Gilbert. The pitch, called a strike. Gilbert is 2 for 3. A couple of singles and ground into a double play in the 4th. Stewart steps off the mound. Taylor over there on first. He's 6 of 7 on stolen base attempts this year. Doesn't need to steal this as the ball launched into left center field by Gilbert. That's extra base as it rolls to the wall. They'll hold up Taylor at 3rd. It's a stand-up double for Connor Gilbert. And the hits just keep coming for the Jags. That's number 15.
Yeah, they keep finding gaps and holes in this Braves defense, and they're making them pay right now. Back-to-back hits.
It brings up Cole Thompson, runners on 2nd and 3rd. As the Jags starting to blow this game open. Tell you what, they are not happy about the results of yesterday's action. Pair of losses for Augusta. That's not helping their cause as they threaten for a top 4 seed in the Peach Belt Conference Tournament.
Nope, not at all. And it was 2 upset wins for the Braves. 2 big wins that they needed.
This one low, blocked by Datillo. He picks it up out of the dirt, calls time, and wants to talk to Chris Stewart now. Can't give up a run via the wild pitch right now.
No, that would be unfortunate. That's the last thing they need right now.
Cole Thompson is at the plate. He's 0 for 3 with 3 flyouts. The last 2 of them were out to right field. Senior from Gray, Georgia, a transfer from Middle Georgia. And the cleanup hitter in today's Jags batting order, so he's no slouch at the plate. His .373 batting average coming into today's game proves that. 1-0 offering from Stewart, just a little bit low. 2-0, first base is open. Runners on second and third.
And with runners in scoring position here, the Braves are going to have to do something to keep this guy on third.
Stewart with the 2-0 pitch. Called a strike. Not much of a breeze in Pembroke today. Gorgeous weather in the mid-70s. Not a cloud in the sky. The 2-1 pitch. Golfed towards short. Played on the bounce by Beaver. And he will just eat it.
Some strong hustle shown by the big catcher, Cole Thompson, getting up that first base lawn there.
That will score Gilbert from third. Excuse me, Taylor from third. Gilbert goes on to third. It's an RBI single for Cole Thompson. It's 8-2 Jags. Scored that actually an error on Drew Beaver. This pitch gets away from Datillo, and it will allow Thompson to advance to second.
And
this inning just unraveling in front of the Braves' eyes.
yeah, it's dragging on. It seems like Beaver's kind of had a tough time over at short today. He's usually lights out at that position, but a couple of these balls have given him a little trouble today. It just looks like he might be in a little funk.
And there was one that was very close to being called an error. This time, he will get charged with one. The pitch. In there for a called strike on Jamal Cummings. 1 ball, 1 strike now. Runners on second and third in an 8-2 game. Cummings just a bit out in front of this one as he fouls it off to the left side. 1-2 now. Jamal Cummings out of East Georgia. The junior stands at 5'9".
He's really battling up there at the plate right now. Just forcing some extra pitches.
He's 2 for 3 at the plate so far today. 1 run scored. And with 2 runners in scoring position, no outs, an opportunity to break this game open. Will push the Jags to victory. The 1-2 from Stewart. Flied out towards right field. Debo goes back. He's still on the run. Watches it bounce off the wall. That will score 1. Debo misplays it off the wall. It's a stand-up double for Jamal Cummings. As Thompson will stop at third. Gilbert scores from third. 9-2 now, Augusta. RBI double for Jamal Cummings.
Cummings just crushed that ball deep in the right field. It was almost out of here.
And the conservative approach to base running there with catcher Cole Thompson rounding third there. He was kind of hesitant as he wasn't sure whether Debo was going to get to it.
Yeah, Debo was really on his horse on that one. He tried to run it down, but he just caught himself burned, as you would say.
So Nick Rao comes to the plate. He's 2 for 2 with a pair of RBI singles. Also walked once and has come around to score once. First pitch from Stewart's in there for a called strike. First 4 hitters who've come up this inning have all reached. 2 of them have scored, 2 of them on the base paths. Still no outs in the Augusta half of the 6th. 9 runs on 16 hits, no errors for the visitors. 2 runs, 3 hits, 1 error for the black and gold.
And
The 0-1.
Chris Stewart has to lock in right now and get his team out of this inning.
No significant action in the Braves bullpen, just some loose tosses going on. Not even pitching from the rubber yet in the Braves bullpen. One guy up. Get an ID for you when we can. 1-1. Crushed back up the middle, hooking into right center field. Rivera on the run makes the catch. Thompson will score as he tags up from third. RBI stack fly by Nick Rowe. And Rao makes it a 10-2 game.
Jack's still working with only 1 out so far.
Third baseman, Hunter Booz.
And up 8.
Hunter Booz now comes to the plate. He's 1 for 3 with a single. Runner on second in the form of Jamal Cummings. Stewart from the stretch, the pitch. Fastball catches the outside corner.
That's a great pitch there.
Pitcher warming up in the Braves bullpen is righty Tyler Holt. Looks like Paul O'Neill keeping with the theme of seniors on senior day.
If they're going to make a comeback, these seniors are going to have to lead the way.
Popped up towards right field. Looks deep enough to be able to advance the runner. Caught by Debo. Cummings slides in safely to third as the throw trickles on over to Hayden Buffkin. Hunter Booz advances the runner, but now there's 2 away.
You still hear the Booz chants, and it kind of reminds you of the Luke chants from Luke Kuechly of the Carolina Panthers. Kind of interesting when he comes up to the plate. Little thing they have going there in the dugout.
Well, just about any Luke.
Yeah.
Any sports Luke teammates will generally do that. You said the Luke chance. I was immediately thinking back to the Luke Walton
Yeah.
and the 08 Lakers, 08, 09, 2010, and they won 2 championships. This one takes a tough bounce on Salisbury, gets over his head. Jim Wagner with an RBI single. Cummings scores easily from third. 11-2 Augusta. That's one where Nick Salisbury, the extra height would have perhaps helped. He's listed at 5'5". That might be a little bit generous.
Yeah.
But even if he was 6'5", it still would have been a tough play. And you don't see too many 6'5" second basemen.
No, not quite. You don't see a lot of 6'5" baseball players, honestly, unless they're pitching.
Reason for that, think about the disadvantage that gives you at the plate in terms of the size of the strike zone.
Yeah.
You have to make up for that by either being a real slugger or having a very crouched stance.
If you see a guy like Randy Johnson coming up to the plate, you just know his strike zone's pretty much anywhere.
How tall is Randy? He was 6'9" or 6'10", right?
Yeah, something like that.
A big unit. Grounded to third. Buffkin has it bounce off his glove. He bare hands. The throw to first is offline. That gets past. Roberts reaches on the error. Coming around to score Wagner. And on to third is Tyler Roberts. That play went from bad to worse for UNCP.
A costly error there. I mean, Roberts is able to get 2 extra bases. He goes from routine single to all the way in the scoring position.
Score that 2 errors on Hayden Buffkin. Run scores to make it 12-2 Jags.
And you wonder if he just maybe should have ate that one, Cameron, and not tried to force the throw. It was a little off balance, and it was a kind of arid.
Well, he mishandled it initially. It was a hot shot to third. Those can be tricky plays. Sometimes it's better not to be the hero. As they say, discretion is sometimes the best form of valor.
Exactly. I mean, it's hard to play conservative when you're down 10.
This ball lined into left. That will make it an 11-run game as Clint Hardy back to the top of the order. Jags have now batted around. They've scored 6 runs in the inning. And it's 13-2 Augusta. You think they're taking out their frustrations on the Braves from yesterday?
Yeah, I think they're definitely exhausting some frustration out here. And even, like you mentioned earlier, back to last year on their senior day when the Braves were able to spoil it. So, just getting even here.
Drew Taylor at the plate again. He led off this inning with a single. He's now 3 for 4 with 2 runs batted in and 1 run scored. This is his second at bat here in the 6th inning.
And you see the first 2 innings, Braves defense and bats pretty lights out. And then you get to the third and the fourth and the fifth, and it's just blown open.
Crushed into right field by Taylor. A diving attempt by Rivera. He can't come up with it. Debo backs him up. Trying to score from first is Hardy, and he will without a throw. Now 7 runs in this inning for Augusta. RBI hit for Drew Taylor. It's 14-2. And 5 of these runs are unearned for Chris Stewart.
First baseman, Connor Gilberts.
And you hate it for a guy like Stewart, his ERA is definitely going to take a hit from this game. And a couple errors and mishandled balls have really extended the inning for the Braves.
19 hits now as that last run was not the result of an error. A great effort by Rivera. He wasn't able to come up with it.
Yeah.
Connor Gilbert already has doubled once this inning. He's 3 for 4. 2 runs scored. Fouls this one straight back. I'm frankly stunned that Chris Stewart is still out there. He's obviously working hard, and you want to let him pitch on senior day and give him the opportunity to work out of a jam. That's not entirely his fault, obviously, with 5 of these 7 runs being unearned. But at a certain point, I think you just go on to the next thing because there's been a lot of very well-hit balls by Augusta in these last couple at bats.
Yeah, and it just seems like they're picking spots all over the field. We've seen some in left, right, center. Like, they're just picking their spots. Finding the gaps.
Connor Gilbert, the 11th hitter of the inning. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Fastball misses low.
Right now, Stewart just has to get out of this inning. He has to get this last out for the Braves, and they've got to get some offense going, get some bats moving.
One. Curveball misses low. Haven't seen too many Jags working the count as this inning has dragged on. They've mostly just been swinging away and launching balls into the outfield.
And the one positive about that is Stewart hasn't had to throw too many pitches.
This ball hit into the outfield. Debo in right center field finally makes the catch to end a very long inning. Augusta scores 7 runs on 6 hits, 3 Braves errors, and 1 runner left on. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th when we come back. It's 14-2 visitors.
We often get the question, where does the money go? More than 90% of NCAA revenue supports 89 championships and more than 1,100 member schools that give $2.7 billion in scholarships each year. Look around you. There are more than 450,000 student athletes competing every year, succeeding on the field, in the classroom, and in life. Bottom line, we put our money where our mission is.
For Augusta, it was 1 run in the 3rd, 3 in the 4th, 3 in the 5th, 7 in the 6th. Bottom of the 6th inning about to get underway. UNCP trails 14-2 as Will Thompson gets his warm-up tosses in. We'll have to see how he handles this inning because he's had plenty of time to rest in between innings, and it doesn't help a pitcher. That'll cool you off a little bit. You're getting in a rhythm. He had been setting down the Braves very quickly in the first 3 innings. Then a 2-run home run by Stabel Aliman Saba. As the Braves added 1 other hit by Drew Beaver. Then Justin Natillo led off last inning with a hit. Couldn't make anything happen. After that, 2 runs on 3 hits, 3 errors by the Braves, 14 runs, 19 hits, no errors for Augusta. Leadoff hitter for the Braves this inning is Nick Salisbury. Be followed by Stabel Aliman Saba and Drew Beaver. So some productive bats coming up this inning, but a 12-run deficit on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and the Braves, if they're going to make a push, they need to start now. So that's a lot of runs to overcome, and there's not a whole lot of time. Still time in this game, but you don't want to wait to the last 3 outs to try to make something.
The 2-0. Fastball poured over the middle for strike one, Will Thompson.
And Thompson's still going strong here, well into the 6th inning.
Doesn't appear to be any action in the visitor bullpen as Salisbury sends this ball into the air, right center field. It hangs up there. Hardy in center field gets to it, makes the catch, one away.
And Clint Hardy's been super busy in center field today.
And he made the first 2 defensive plays. First team All Peach Belt Conference performer. Transfer from Western Kentucky. Has been swinging the bat well today. Also been doing his job in the outfield. 3 errors last inning by the Braves defensively. Led to 5 unearned runs, being credited to Chris Stewart.
And when you're playing from behind, that's just something you can't do. You can't beat yourself and add to an already shaky situation.
Spell Ali Mansab at the plate. He takes strike one. Ali Mansab is 1 for 2 in the game with a 2-run homer. Produced both Braves runs in this one. 0-1 offering from Thompson. At the knee, strike 2. The Walls, 2 strikes, 1 out, bases empty, bottom of the 6th. With the Braves trailing Augusta 14-2. The windup, the pitch from Thompson. Curveball popped up in foul territory behind home plate. Cole Thompson, the catcher, sheds the mask, makes the catch, and there's 2 away. So it's Drew Beaver's turn. Beaver's 1 for 2 with a single, and then was caught stealing. His last time he was on the base pass, that was in the 4th inning. And this will be a real interesting test to see what kind of fight the Braves have left in them. Very emotional couple of wins yesterday, emotional senior day ceremonies before today's game. They come out and are on the wrong end of a 14-2 game right now.
Yeah, I mean, they've just looked flat so far, and they've also committed a couple costly errors.
Really struggled to hit Will Thompson, mustering just 3 hits through 5 2/3 innings.
And it seems like he's just gotten stronger as the game's gone on. He got a little frustrated and had the mound visit a couple innings back, but since then he's been locked in and he's just retiring batter after batter.
Retired 4 straight right now. 2-0. One of the problems he's had is spotting that fastball. It's oftentimes just staying in his hand a split second too long and throwing it into the dirt. That was pitch number 80 today for Will Thompson.
And he's such an imposing figure on the mound. I mean, the reach is crazy when he gets full extension.
To steal a basketball term, his wingspan is pretty enormous. He's 6'6", 240, so very tall and can really create a lot of torque. 3-1. Swung on, grounded, foul. Hard not to have wingspan when you're 6'6".
Yeah, exactly.
It just kind of happens.
I'm sure he's played a little football.
I was thinking basketball.
Maybe basketball as well.
3-2, 2 outs.
He's a big kid.
Swung on, grounded towards second. Going to the opposite side was Beaver. Fielded by Rao and thrown over to first. And the Braves go 1-2-3 in the 6th. We'll go to the top of the 7th when we come back. 14-2 Augusta. Defensive changes for UNCP. Taking over on third base for Hayden Buffkin is now Austin Hill. Now behind the plate for the Braves, Wiley Jackson. And on the mound for the black and gold, number 43, Tyler Holt. Those are all seniors coming into the game. We take a look at Tyler Holt. He's making his 6th appearance. He's got a 5.14 ERA in 7 innings of work. Allowed 13 hits and 5 runs. 4 of them have been earned. Struck out 5 and walked 1 in those 7 innings of work. And we'll also see the Braves inserting Hill and Wiley Jackson into the batting order over the course of these next couple innings.
We'll see if the Braves can get a spark from some of these subs off the bench to kind of uplift them back into this contest.
So Jackson taking over behind the plate for Justin Detillo. Austin Hill at third base now for Hayden Buffkin. Both of those men honored before today's game with Senior Day ceremonies as part of the 7-man senior class for UNCP. Augusta coming to the plate up 14-2 as we get the top of the 7th inning going. Cole Thompson to lead off. He's still looking for his first hit of this game. He's flown out 3 times and reached once on an error. First pitch hit into left field. And Augusta picks up right where they left off last inning. Saw plenty of hits to the outfield against Chris Stewart, and now doing it again against Tyler Holt.
They waited no time welcoming him into the contest.
So Cole Thompson finally has his first base knock of the game. It's the 20th hit today for Augusta. So they've been able to plate 14 runs. Haven't committed any errors on defense. Meanwhile, the Braves have 2 runs on 3 hits and 3 errors.
20 hits. Wow. That is impressive.
Pinch hitter for the designated hitter Jamal Cummings instead will be Gage Patton, sophomore from Bexley, Georgia, out of Appling County High School. Patton, the first pitch he sees today, taken for a ball. Jamal Cummings wraps up the day by going 3 for 4, 2 doubles, 1 single, 1 run batted in. He also scored twice. Patton fouls this back. 1-1 now the count. Gage Patton, just a sophomore, stands at 5'9", 160 pounds. Bring in that left-handed bat to get some reps here down the home stretch of this game. 1-1 pitch, swung on, hit slowly towards third, played by Hill, tossed to second for 1, the throw to first, in time, double play. Hill to Salisbury to Snyder. There's some defense for you.
Hill wasting no time coming off the bench and impacting the game, and it's giving this crowd here at Sammy Cox Field a little bit of life.
So here's Nick Rao, the Augusta second baseman, suddenly with the bases empty and 2 away. And the Jags haven't been held without a run in an inning since the 2nd. They had 1 in the 3rd, 3 in the 4th, 3 in the 5th, and 7 in the 6th to break this game wide open. But Tyler Holt, now just a couple pitches away from getting out of this inning. Pitch taken on the outside corner for a called strike. Nick Rao, 3 runs batted in. He's walked once, had a pair of singles. Also had a sacrifice fly that brought in a run. Not a bad day at all. 2 for 2, 3 runs batted in, and a run scored. Solid.
Yeah, he's been doing a little bit of everything.
Big swing, fouls this off to the left side as he was out in front of the changeup from Holt. Make it 0-2. Holt winds and throws. Low and away. Jackson keeps it in front.
Yeah, great use of the body there by Jackson. Just keeping that one in front of him. Holt's on the mound. He's throwing heat.
Strike 3 looking. As Nick Rao takes it outside, on the outside corner that is. Tyler Holt gets the Jags to go 1-2-3 in the 7th. 7th inning stretch time with the visitors from Augusta up 14-2.
gained as a student will be just as important to you as what you did as a player. As long as you know that you made the effort to do the best of which you're capable, there's no failure. Success on 3.
There are over 400,000 NCAA student athletes. And just about all of us will be going pro in something other than sports.
Braves coming up to bat in the bottom of the 7th will be Debo Snyder, and then the catcher spot. Nick Debo to lead off, as it's still Will Thompson on the mound for Augusta. Debo, he's 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. See if he can solve Will Thompson and start something for the Braves this inning. First pitch hit in the air, right center field gap. That's a well-hit ball for Nick Debo. It's to the wall and a couple bounces, played in center field by Hardy, and a stand-up double for Nick Debo. Hit number 4 today for the Braves.
Have had in a little while.
And when they've been getting them, they just haven't done much. Let's see the 2 runs for the Braves coming in that 4th inning when Nick Salisbury led off with a walk, and then Stabel Ali-Mansaba brought him home with the home run. Doesn't look like any action yet in the Augusta bullpen. They have a lot of faith in Will Thompson to hold on to this 14-2 lead.
And if he keeps pitching the way he has, they don't have a reason not to.
First pitch to Snyder. Called a ball.
Shortstop is number 5.
The 1-0. In the dirt, a nice block behind the plate by Thompson. Cole Thompson behind the plate.
The Thompson connection. We've seen a couple of those balls on his release just go straight into the dirt. You just wonder.
It's like a new shortstop for Augusta is Cole Janusek.
New right fielder is 36.
And also a new right fielder for Augusta. He's number 36, Lawson Duncan. Both teams will presumably make some substitutions over these last couple innings. In a 12-run game, get some different guys some reps.
Yeah, and it's good, you know, you have to have depth at this level and get contributions because your starting 9 isn't always going to be able to go. And it's good to get your starters some rest as well.
Snyder grounds this ball to third. It's played by Booz. The throw to first is in time. And stuck on second base for the time being is Nick Debo on the 5-3 ground out.
Solid throw there, just right on the line.
It's 45. Ready for it,
So now Wiley Jackson comes to the plate. Jackson, the redshirt senior from Kinston, North Carolina, transfer from Pfeiffer, celebrating senior day.
You usually see him sporting the 45, but rocking the number 10 jersey today on senior day.
So Jackson replacing Justin Datillo, who went 1 for 2. Here comes the 0-1 from Thompson. Jackson with the mighty cut. Misses.
Big cut here, there. You'd love to see him come up big here for the Braves on senior day and make a play.
Wiley Jackson, no hits yet this season in 8 at-bats. Swings, lofts this ball into center field. It's hit right at Hardy. He doesn't have to move. Camps under it, makes the catch. And Debo again stuck on second base. A nice charge in that ball by Wiley Jackson, just to the wrong spot. So to the left fielder, Nolan Pierce. He's 0 for 2. 14-2 ball game in the bottom of the 7th. Augusta starter Will Thompson has just been more or less lights out and has gotten more than enough run support. He's gotten practically a season's worth of run support.
Yeah, he's definitely got a lot of support from his teammates, but putting on a...
Ooh, look out below. Pierce hits this ball into center field. Hardy comes up throwing, trying to score from second is Debo. The throw will be cut off. The Braves played a run. It's now 14-3 on the RBI single by Nolan Pierce. You know what they say about trying to eat an elephant? You know how to eat an elephant?
I can't say I do.
One bite at a time. The Braves are facing an elephant-sized deficit.
Very true.
And you get it back one run at a time.
That's a good analogy there.
Austin Hill now comes up to bat. And this will be just his 11th at-bat of the season. Looking for that first hit.
And you see, he's like one of those utility guys you see on the roster, listed as an infielder and a pitcher.
Check swing. It gets away from Thompson behind the plate. On the wild pitch, Nolan Pierce takes second. So Nolan Pierce now in scoring position. Hill at the plate replaces Hayden Buffkin, who went 0 for 1 with a walk. We've already seen Austin Hill make an impact defensively by starting a double play last inning.
Yeah, we'll see if he can do some damage with his bat now.
1-0, off-speed pitch misses high. The 2-0. In the dirt, able to hold back is Hill.
That's a good good patience being shown there by the senior.
Three balls, no strikes to Austin Hill. The pitch. That's ball 4 as Hill earns a walk. He's on base. 2 outs. And this was the first time this season that Austin Hill has reached base. Nice that he gets to have that on senior day. We'll get a mound visit now from Augusta pitching coach Chris Howell. Just checking in on Will Thompson, trying to decide how much longer he's going to go. There's now somebody up and throwing in the Augusta bullpen. Just preliminary tosses. It's not a lot of throws yet. I don't think Augusta's ready to make that pitching change. But probably sooner rather than later for the Jags with that comfortable 11-run lead. Don't want to hurt Will Thompson's ERA too much. You're going to be off for a couple days. Let some other guys go in and throw and wrap this game up before the Braves get any ideas about making a comeback.
Exactly.
That should be the idea for Augusta at this point. Back to the top of the order, Roberto Rivera at the plate. He's 0 for 3. Came in hitting 400. Going to pick up a big hit for UNCP right now. Takes this fastball high and away. Rivera started the day at 400, batting average down to 393 now. It's still not bad. I think he'll still take it. I still think that makes Paul O'Neill a happy coach.
He should be sufficed. This is a big spot, though. If he could deliver here, extend this inning here.
That was pitch number 99 for Will Thompson. This next one will be his 100th, and got to imagine that the Augusta dugout is aware of that fact. 2-0. There's a strike in there on the outside corner.
Well, it's nice to see that Will Thompson's replacement belt's been holding up pretty fine through his effort.
I want to know who's now beltless in the Augusta dugout. That was a couple innings ago. I'd almost forgotten about that. Rivera puts this ball into left center field. It's dropping quickly. The diving attempt comes up short from Hardy. He gets to it. Oh, has some trouble picking it up. RBI single for Roberto Rivera. The Braves cut the deficit down to 10. And scoring from second is Nolan Pierce. Austin Hill on to third. Runners to the corners for Nick Salisbury. We've seen so much power from Will Thompson that he snapped his own belt earlier. He's using the teammate's belt, or one of the coaches, or somebody else. I'm not sure you pack extra uniform belts.
Yeah.
Maybe one.
I'm not sure that's just something that's on the list.
But Will Thompson's a big guy. 6'6", 240. I don't think he could just pick any old belt off of a teammate.
Nah, not at all.
For example, he couldn't go to Gage Patton, who's 5'9", 160. Those are not interchangeable. You're not going to mix up their jerseys or any part of their uniform. Salisbury at the plate facing a 1-0 count. The pitch taken on the inside corner for a strike.
And it's good to see some life out of the top of this Braves lineup. I mean, if they're going to make a push, these are going to be the guys that have to do it.
Runners at the corners for Salisbury, 2 away. Bottom of the 7th, the pitch. Another fastball. This time it's called a ball.
Will Thompson's loving his fastball right now.
You've seen the velocity at some different points. I thought it was starting to fall off a little bit now that it's up over 100 pitches, but that one had some heat on it.
Definitely did. You can hear the glove snap a little bit up here.
2-1. Took a little something off that one. Makes it 2-2 as it's called a strike.
Big spot here for Salisbury. He cut this game here in single digits. One swing of the bat.
Salisbury is the 7th Brave to come to the plate this inning. 2 runs in, 2 outs, 2 runners on base. This one hit back up the middle. The shift was on as Nusek makes the play on the throw over to first. That's why you use the shift, boys and girls, as Augusta able to stop the damage at 2 runs. 2 runs on 3 hits as the Braves have cut the deficit to 10. We'll go to the top of the 8th when we come back. 14-4 Jags. Tyler Holt on the mound again for UNCP. Can he repeat that performance from last inning when he held Augusta scoreless in a 1-2-3 inning? Allowed 1 hit, but then induced a double play. He'll face the bottom 3 hitters in the Jags order. We'll see how many they keep from the original batting order. Already have seen the number 9 hitter Tyler Roberts get subbed out defensively from shortstop. See if they have any more pinch hitters or if they stick with what they already have. It's a balancing act there in terms of what guys you throw out there in a 10-run game, because you can't completely empty the bench. If things get out of control, your starter's not eligible to return. It's not like a basketball or a football game.
Exactly.
So you have to leave some subs available. I mean, you also can't use all of your subs, and then someone gets hurt. You have to put a position or pitcher in a position player spot or something like that.
Exactly. It can just cause all kinds of difficulties.
So it is third baseman Hunter Booz at the plate. He's 1 for 3. A couple flyouts, 1 single, and 1 sac fly. This is his 5th trip into the batter's box.
He's been pretty solid over at third base on the defensive side, flashing the arm a little bit that last inning.
1-0. Swings, hits it right back up the middle. It's all Holt can do to duck out of the way. It's hit number 21 this afternoon for Augusta. Second of the day for Hunter Booz, and he leads off the 8th for Augusta with a single.
That ball was hard hit. It's a good thing he was able to avoid that one.
Now Holt, what? That's one where you see your life flash before your eyes.
Yes.
Just a hard hit ball right at the head of the pitcher, and I'm just glad no one was hurt on that one. First pitch popped up by Jim Wagner in foul territory along the left side. Austin Hill fights off the sun, makes the catch, and stays on his feet. Thought he was going to stumble a little bit as he made the catch, but he holds on, makes the play, one away.
The shortstop, number 5, Cole Janasek.
So now Cole Janasek comes to the plate, his first at-bat today, after he replaced Tyler Roberts. Got 2 hits, also drove in a run, scored a pair of runs. Productive day for the starting shortstop. Now gives way to the junior, the backup from Tifton, Georgia. Takes high and away, ball 1.
And shortstop's such an important position on the field. It's just a really good luxury when you can get that kind of production from your shortstop.
And the 9-hitter.
Exactly.
The 9 spot in the batting order. Although with the way Augusta hits, and again, with their starting 9 all being up over 300,
honestly,
it's a little tough to say where the lineup really should start and end.
Exactly. I mean, he's hitting top 3 somewhere else in the Peach Belt.
For head coach Jason Eller, those are good problems, is what you'd call them. The 2-0 offering misses low. And it's like, oh no, which of my all-conference hitters should I hit third or fourth? Which of my, top base stealing threats should hit first or ninth?
I wonder if it just keeps him up at night.
Loses sleep over it. The 3-0. This is low and away. A 4-pitch walk issued to Cole Janasek. Lineup will turn over here. Clint Hardy comes up to the plate.
Back to the top of the order for the Jags, center fielder Clint Hardy.
And
Clint Hardy, first team All Peach Belt Conference performer a year ago. Having a slightly off game here today. He's 2 for 5 with 2 RBI hits, including 1 double.
And I've honestly lost count of how many Braves batters he's retired in center field. He's been pretty active out there.
A lot of the work from Will Thompson on the mound for Augusta. He's been kind of a fly ball pitcher, living that way. Augusta beginning now their 6th cycle through the batting order. Curveball thrown by Holt, misses high. 1-0. 2 runners on, 1 out. Top of the 8th inning with Augusta holding a 14-4 lead. The Jags have 14 runs on 21 hits, no errors. Braves with 4 runs on 6 hits and 3 errors. Holt working from the stretch. Senior getting some reps on senior day. The pitch swung on and missed by Hardy.
And he's been pretty strong in his effort so far. When he took over kind of a tough situation a couple innings back, and he's recovered. He's been pretty solid in relief duty.
The 1-1. Swung on, grounded past the shortstop into left field. Hold up Booz at third. As Pierce rifles it back in. He's got a cannon over there in the outfield. No reason to give up a run or give up an out via base running when your team is hitting the ball the way it has been.
Very true. Augusta should be going with a more conservative approach as far as base running goes.
The right fielder, 36.
So here is the new right fielder Lawson Duncan, who takes over for Drew Taylor defensively and in the 2 spot in the batting order. Drew Taylor finishes the day by going 4 for 5 with 3 runs batted in and 1 run scored. Bases loaded for the pinch hitter, or excuse me, the defensive replacement, now getting his first at bat. No place to put him. Booz is on third, Janasek on second, Hardy on first, 1 away. Infield at double play depth with Lawson Duncan at the plate.
Yeah, double play ball would be ideal here for the Braves.
Big swing and a miss from Duncan. and a freshman from Roswell High School, Roswell, Georgia. Tyler Holt, yeah, bases loaded jam. Holt from the stretch, the 1-1 pitch to Duncan.
Ooh.
Hit high in the air, deep towards right field. Debo goes back, it bounces off the wall in the air. That will score a couple of runs, and Augusta just keeps running the bases. 2 runs score on the single by Lawson Duncan. Going from first to third is Hardy. It's 16-4 Jags.
And it's a lot of pressure just coming off the bench into a game like this. And being able to jump and add to the lineup, I mean, he belted that ball in the right field.
Well, he had some big shoes to fill there left by Drew Taylor, who already had 4 hits. And I'm surprised, though, that the coaches decided to hold Duncan at first. He hit that ball off the right field fence in the air.
Same.
Ended up with a single.
Seemed like he could have easily been up there for a stand-up double.
Curveball. It's dropped behind the plate by Jackson, and because he wasn't handled cleanly. Now Duncan, he really wanted that second base. He takes second base on the dropped pitch there, and no throw by Wiley Jackson. So the double play ball no longer in effect. 1 ball, no strikes to Connor Gilbert. Gilbert has 3 hits today, 2 runs scored in 5 at-bats. He's 3 for 5. 1-0 grounded into left field. It gets past Hill. That'll score another run. It's now 17-4 Augusta. Connor Gilbert, one of the last starters who didn't have an RBI yet in this game. And he finally has his run batted.
He put it into that.
We'll call it the 5.5 hole between the 5 and 6 spots defensively. The hits just keep coming for Augusta. That's number 24. 17 runs plated. Now Cole Thompson comes up to hit. Thompson. No runs batted in for him either. He's 1 for 5. Takes below the knees for a ball. Reached on an error in the 6th and came around to score. Also had a single last inning. The Jags weren't able to do anything with it after Gage Patton hit into a double play. Patton is the man on deck. Runners at the corners, 1 away. Let's see if Holt can get another double play ball here. From the stretch, the pitch. Strike 1 on the outside corner.
Nice pitch there. Way to battle back by Holt. And he's given up a couple runs in this inning so far, but he's continuing to throw hard.
Curveball, check swing, but it was in there for a called strike. 1-2 with 1 out. Runner on first. 17-4 game in the top of the 8th.
It sounds like these Georgia fans traveled pretty well today. It sounds like they're pretty well represented in the crowd.
Curveball, tagged into center field. It's right to Rivera. Flied out by Thompson. Coming home to score from third is Duncan as he tags up and scores. Make it 18-4 on the RBI sac fly by Cole Thompson.
And you just really hope we don't get to the point where you see 20 runs and 25, 30 hits.
That's the way they've been going. It's not out of the question. Gage Patton comes up for the 2nd time. He filled in for Jamal Cummings last inning and grounded into a double play. So he'd like to do better than that.
Yeah.
2 away. Patton looks at a first pitch in there for a called strike. Patton is the 8th hitter this inning for the Jags. Innings where they haven't scored have been the exception rather than the rule. 1 in the 3rd, 3 in the 4th, 3 in the 5th, 7 in the 6th. None in the 7th now, 4 in this 8th inning. Strike 2 called to Patton. McRow waits on deck. He would be the 9th hitter to come up this inning for the Jags if this inning continues against Tyler Holt. Stretch the pitch. Curveball stays high. A little bit outside. Braves won both games yesterday. They clinched the series win against Augusta. As Patton launches this ball into right field, Debo goes back, makes a catch with his back to the infield. And the inning comes to a close, but 4 more runs for Augusta. They took a 10-run game, made it a 14-run game. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. It's a lot to a little.
We often get the question, where does the money go? More than 90% of NCAA revenue supports 89 championships and more than 1,100 member schools that give $2.7 billion in scholarships each year. Look around you. There are more than 450,000 student athletes competing every year, succeeding on the field, in the classroom, and in life. Bottom line, we put our money where our mission is.
New pitcher for Augusta. That's number 38 for the Jags. Jordan Kelly, sophomore left-hander from Lilburn, Georgia, out of Parkview High School. He replaces Will Thompson, who finishes with 6 strikeouts and a couple of walks. A very good outing for Will Thompson. He lasted 7 innings, gave up 4 runs on 6 hits, and got, well, trying to think of a word for the amount of run support he got. Copious is an understatement. A lot, just kind of, I don't know.
Too general, not specific
Gargantuan run support, maybe? He got 18 runs of run support,
yeah,
basically.
It's sensational.
So Jordan Kelly will come in and presumably pitch these last couple innings. Also possible that Augusta will go for a different guy in the 9th. They do have somebody up in the bullpen.
I thought we would never see the end of Will Thompson.
Well, he was up over 100 pitches, and
Yeah.
there's really very little reason to keep a pitcher going in a double-digit game when he's up over 100 pitches,
Exactly.
unless he's going for a no-hitter or a perfect game. What we saw this week with Jake Arrieta for the Cubs.
Yeah, pitched his second one.
Yeah, both of them on the road, too.
That's pretty impressive.
That's very, very rare air.
Cubs picking up where they left off last year. Been keeping an eye on the Nats, too, though. I'm a pretty big Washington Nationals fan. They've been pretty solid so far, too.
Now, Brandon, what's the reason? Because you're from around here.
Yeah, and I just feel like everybody goes for the Braves. So I remember when the Expos turned into the Nats back in, like, '06, and I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to root for a different team. So that's where it started back in the Vlad Guerrero days.
This is one of those regions of the country that it feels like there's way too many what you'd call free agent baseball fans.
Yeah. I mean, you know, we don't really have one of our own, so it could go either way.
Plenty of minor league teams in the Carolina League, but there's something different about being able to follow a team. You know, anywhere you go, you be able to watch their games on TV
Exactly.
or whatever. Stabell Alimansaw behind 0-2. Jordan Kelly, the lefty, with that kind of sidearm delivery. Another region that's very interesting as the 0-2 pitch misses low and away is sort of that northwest, but not in the Washington State area. You're talking about getting a little bit further east, Montana, North and South Dakota.
Yeah.
Because there's really no team out there. As Ali Mansaba grounds this one to third, that's Booz with the shift on. He makes the play, 1 away.
Yeah, there's not really any teams really close to there. I guess maybe they might be Milwaukee Brewers fans, maybe, or.
Well, I think you kind of there's sort of like a midway point where you go from being a Seattle Mariners fan to a Minnesota Twins fan.
That too. That too. Don't know how many Twins fans there are this year, but.
I have a couple Twins friends from school, and their suffering is well documented.
Yeah.
It's
Buston looks like the real deal though in center field.
Drew Beaver now at the plate. He's 1 for 3. Takes strike 1 there. But the number of areas where there are minor league teams scattered throughout that region. You're talking about I believe it's called the Northwest League or the it's the Pioneer League. That's the short A season.
Yeah, the Pioneer Leagues.
Different than the Frontier League, which is an independent league based more in the central Midwest. in Ohio Valley.
So many leagues to keep up with. A lot of baseball being played around America right now.
And even more so once you wait another month or so.
Yeah,
Past
exactly.
Memorial Day, a lot of those shorter seasons start to get rolling, and
Exactly.
independent ball as well. And then not to mention all the college summer ball.
Yeah, definitely keep up with the Cape Cod League. You know, a lot of these guys will be going off to play summer ball in various parts of the country.
It's always interesting to watch in terms of college summer ball, the interaction between, or the sort of competition, I would guess, between the high D1 guys and then some of the D2 guys. This ball hit back up the middle for Drew Beaver and into center field.
I mean, I feel like the talent gap isn't as far as maybe basketball or football from D1 to D2. If you're playing college baseball, you have to be pretty talented.
Well, and then the even further wild card is JUCO guys.
Yeah.
A lot of very good baseball players choose not to go the traditional college route
Exactly.
because of the more flexibility you're afforded in terms of declaring for the Major League Draft coming out of a junior college. If you commit to playing at a traditional NCAA, a 4-year school, you're not eligible for the draft again until 3 years after high school.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas there's a good bunt down the third base line by Debo. It's a foul ball, though.
Yeah, a lot of studs coming out of JUCO. I think, pretty sure Bryce Harper.
I think he
one of the
played. I think he
recent
played a
ones
year.
played,
Yeah, he played the 1 year of junior college
Yeah, he dropped out of high school early.
to play in junior college. But plenty of very good players will start in junior college and then figure out, are they going straight pro, or then will they transfer into a bigger school and finish their career?
It just seems like in the JUCO level, it's more about baseball. You know you're not going to be there for 4 years attempting a degree.
Pitch inside. It hits Debo on the back. Now first and second for the Braves in the bottom of the 8th. But there's obviously a certain prestige when you're playing in a college summer league and you're talking about a guy coming from an SEC school or a Pac-12 school.
Exactly.
But those guys also end up having a kind of a target on their back.
Yeah.
Guys from smaller schools, guys from Division II or junior colleges. They feel like those are the, I don't know, you would call them glory boys or pretty boys, but because not that college baseball is, majorly publicized, but these are schools that, you hear about it for other sports.
Exactly. And, I mean, the funding and the equipment these guys are used to, the facilities these guys are used to. It's just a different level. But I also think it's fun.
Not necessarily a different level of baseball, just a different level of it's a different level of experience. It's a different experience.
Yeah, because, these guys are coming in with something to prove.
Snyder chops this one down the third base line, foul. It's also fun to see the various college summer leagues. There is an end-of-season tournament that's held in Kansas City.
Now that I didn't know about.
At the end of August. And obviously, it's expensive to bring those teams. So a lot of very good teams end up not being able to compete because they can't raise enough money.
Yeah.
But you see the teams from certain leagues and how they kind of fare against each other, because not every, obviously with so many leagues, you want to kind of get a sense of which league is where. It's kind of like bowl season for football.
Yeah.
It's something that respective regions kind of take pride in, and that they want to make sure they're sending their best and that they're well represented. Because players, when they're playing in those leagues, want to have a sense of where their league stacks up against another league. Everyone's heard of the Cape Cod League.
Yeah, gosh, there's a movie about it.
I'm pretty sure that the Cape Cod teams don't play anybody else outside of the Cape Cod League, including, I don't think they participate in that tournament. So ranking where they kind of match up against other college teams, college summer teams, and how good that league really is, they kind of do that on purpose. They kind of build that aura and mystique. As Snyder lines this ball towards third. It's knocked down by Booz. He picks it up and will eat it. The base is now loaded for the Braves with 1 out in the bottom of the 8th. Score that one a hit. Number 8 today for the Braves. They have 4 runs, but also 3 errors. The Jags have 18 runs on 24 hits.
Those errors have proved costly for the Braves, with runs being scored.
Augusta will meet on the mound. It looks like they'll make a pitching change. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll tell you more about this new pitcher. See if the Braves can cut into a 14-run deficit in the bottom of the 8th inning. You're watching Senior Day Baseball on the Braves Broadcast Network. New pitcher for Augusta is freshman righty, number 13, Chase Sloan. He stands at 6'4", 205 pounds, out of Kennesaw Mountain High School in Kennesaw, Georgia. He inherits a bases-loaded jam in the bottom of the 8th in a 14-run game. So the Braves are just looking for I guess the opposite of insurance runs. I don't know what you call that. Some window dressing, I guess, to try to make it look a little better. Some padding of the stats and just trying to make this game look closer than it really was.
Yeah, they're just, I feel like, going for respectability at this point. I mean, it's senior day, and this crowd's going to leave disappointed.
The Braves won the first game yesterday by 1, the second game by 2. And we'll lose this game by a very wide margin. But the Braves end up with 2 wins out of 3.
Exactly, and you can't complain about those results. It is kind of weird, you know. You see 2 close, tightly contested games yesterday, and then it's just the offensive explosion one-sided in the third one for the finale.
Well, those kinds of things can happen. I mean, think about a couple weeks ago, UNCP softball taking on USC Aiken. They were run-ruled in the first game and then run-ruled Aiken in the second game.
Yeah.
So just because teams can appear to be evenly matched doesn't mean that the game will end up being close.
Very true.
One of the unique things about, I think, baseball and softball, more so than other sports, if you have 2 teams that are pretty close, as at least with softball, USC Aiken and UNC Pembroke ended up being, in a sport like basketball, you'll usually play 2 close games.
Exactly.
Very rarely will you see 2 blowouts, one going each way.
Yeah. Yeah, used to seeing some consistency in those sports. And I guess, you know, in baseball, it just depends on the day. Sometimes you have it, sometimes you don't.
As I believe Yogi Berra would say, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, sometimes it rains.
The great Yogi Berra.
Riley Jackson faces a 1-1 count from new pitcher Chase Sloan. Bases loaded, 1 away. Augusta middle infield, shading towards the second base bag, trying to turn 2 if they get the opportunity. Escape this inning unscathed. The 2-1 pitch. Jackson takes at the knees, strike 2 called. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out to Riley Jackson. Nolan Pierce is the man on deck for the Braves. He had an RBI single his last time up. Riley Jackson's 0 for 1 today. 2-2. Swung on and missed. And the catcher, Cole Thompson, nearly had to get away from him, but he's able to track it down. Braves runners stay put, so the bases remain loaded. 2 outs now, and Nolan Pierce to the plate.
And you would like to see Wiley get a hit there. The senior, you know, his first hit on the season could have been big and help maybe extend this inning a little bit with the bases loaded.
Well, he'll have to wait for the 9th inning and hope the Braves can muster another big inning and get him another chance to get that base knock here on Sammy Cox Field. Nolan Pierce at the plate. He's 1 for 3 with a run batted in. Takes fastball outside corner, strike 1.
Oof. Nice fastball there, good placement.
Working from the stretch is Sloan. The pitch. Strike 2, basically the same spot. Pretty much almost the same pitch, too.
Yeah, I was about to say they look pretty similar. Still a big spot here for Pierce, the sophomore.
On the stretch, Sloan with the 0-2 pitch. Outside, it gets away from Thompson. That'll allow a run to score. Diving in safely is Drew Beaver. Thompson covered a lot of ground to get to that loose ball, and then a good toss. Sloan covered. Nearly applied the tag on Drew Beaver.
Yeah, that
he
was
does
close.
score on the wild pitch.
And that's a run the Braves needed. We'll see if they can clear some of these bases.
So now 2nd and 3rd. Nolan Pierce at the plate, and the count 1-2. 2 away, bottom of the 8th inning. Deficit sits at 13. The pitch. Swung on, line towards short, over the head of Janusik, and into left center field. That will score both runners, heading towards second, and in with a stand-up double, Nolan Pierce. He drives home 2 runs. Nolan Pierce now up to 3 runs batted in today. He's got RBI base hits in each of the last 2 innings. Deficit down to 11. It's 18-7.
He smoked that last pitch. I feel like you could hear the seams unraveling from up here.
Janusik nearly caught that with the snow cone catch.
That would have been pretty impressive, I'm not going to lie.
Austin Hill comes to the plate now for the Braves. He'll step out as there's a mound visit for Augusta. Cole Thompson visiting with Chase Sloan. Austin Hill, the senior, coming to the plate, looking for that first hit of the season. Columbia, South Carolina, a transfer from USC Lancaster. Pitch. Taken at the knees for called strike. 18 runs on 24 hits, no errors by the Jags. 7 runs on 9 hits, 3 errors for the Braves.
And for the Jags offense, could you even dream up a better game than this? For them anyways. Goodness.
Hard to ask for much more than 24 hits. When we thought this was going to be a high-scoring game, Brandon, I'm not sure we expected this much scoring.
Yeah. Borderline looks like a football game. Low-scoring football game.
18 is a tough football number. That would be something. Fastball misses high. I think, how would you get to 18? I suppose that's you go Chip Kelly, go for 2 every time and fail all 3 times.
Very true. Maybe a field goal or 2 in there.
Or 2 touchdowns, 2 extra point or 2-point conversions and a safety. I'm not sure which would be less likely. Those are both very weird football scores. Two. Just a little bit low and away. Count goes full to Austin Hill.
Well, looks like Chip Kelly will be taking his talents to San Fran.
That's right. I wonder if he'll be able to turn things around. Still, or at least there was a lot of talent in San
Before
Francisco.
they all retired.
3-2 pitch. Swung on, chopped down the third base line, but foul. I'm trying to think of is there any other number that it seems like a fairly normal number, like a relatively high number, that would be a very odd football score.
I feel like 25 would be kind of odd.
25 would be a really weird one.
Like, I'm not sure if I've ever seen that.
Three-two pitch to Hill. Swung on, grounded, foul again down the third base line.
Coach O'Neill getting some fielding practice out there.
Runner on second is Pierce. Austin Hill at the plate. Payoff pitch from Sloan, swung on and missed. Strike 3 on the fastball, and the 8th inning comes to a close. 4 runs in the top of the inning for Augusta, 3 runs for the Braves in the bottom of the inning. We'll go to the top of the 9th. It's 18-7 Jaguars.
What you've gained as a student will be just as important to you as what you did as a player. As long as you know that you made the effort to do the best of which you're capable, there's no failure. Success on 3.
There are over 400,000 NCAA student athletes. And just about all of us will be going pro in something other than sports.
New pitcher for the Braves is right-handed senior Logan Cook, 6'2", out of Valdez, North Carolina. Cook will be making his 11th appearance. He has 4 wins and 3 losses and a 5.40 ERA in 45 innings of work. He struck out 39, walked 21, allowed 57 hits in those 45 innings of work. 9th inning in an 11-run game. The Braves able to get a couple runs on the board that inning. But looks like that hole is just going to be too big for them to dig out of. But you never know. That's why their last licks. One more opportunity for the Braves to hit. And
Very true.
it's going to be important for Logan Cook to make this inning a quick one. Make sure that the Jags are not able to add any more to their lead.
Typically see him as the third-day starter. Not usually used to him in a bullpen role, but
Well, that's part of that shakeup that happened for UNCP with Daniel Batts being moved into the starting rotation a couple weeks ago.
we'll see if the senior can get it done here for Pembroke.
Austin Herkel will come in and pinch hit now.
Second baseman, Nick Rao.
The pinch hitter is Austin Herkel. And he takes low for ball 1. Herkel is a freshman from Thompson, Georgia, out of Thompson High School. He takes on the outside there, 1-1, as that's called a strike. Been a long day of baseball here for our home plate umpire, Alan McGee. This game approaches the 3-hour mark. But considering how many runs have been scored, it's a pretty impressive pace. Herkel grounds this one towards second, scooped up by Salisbury. The toss over to first is in time. And Cook made a diving effort there. He's a little slow to get up, but he appears to be okay.
And he's seen a lot of batters cross the plate. I'm sure he's made some friends by now. He's had quite a few visitors at home plate.
Hunter Booz comes up to bat, so they won't pinch hit for the third baseman. They've now subbed out both of their middle infielders, but they will stick with Booz at third base. The 0-1 to Booz swung on and missed, so
Huge cut there.
Logan Cook comes in and throws some strikes. It's been important for the Braves today.
Yeah, and that's what they need from him. He just got to come in, hold down the fort, get ahead in the count, and get 3 quick ones so this offense can get back out there.
The 0-2 pitch swung on and missed. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, Hunter Booz. And he will go back to the dugout. First strikeout for Logan Cook, as he will get to work the 9th here today for the Braves. Now Jim Wagner comes up to the plate.
Left fielder, Jim Wagner.
Wagner has walked once, and he's 2 for 4. 2 runs batted in and 2 runs scored. Very good day for your number 8 hitter in the Augusta batting order. The pitch is a curveball taken at the letters for a called strike. Not be surprised here to see umpire Alan McGee stretch that strike zone just a little bit, especially against Augusta when they're batting. Swung on and missed there by Wagner. It's 0-2. From the windup, Cook's pitch tipped foul into the Augusta dugout. Bases empty, 2 outs in the top of the 9th. The 0-2 pitch from Logan Cook. Swing and a miss, so he strikes out 2 of the 3 batters he faces on Senior Day, the 1 inning he'll get to go. Braves will come up to the bat one more time here on Senior Day. They trail by 11. We'll be right back. Top of the order coming up for UNCP to start the 9th inning. They'll face Chase Sloan. He's back on the mound for his 2nd inning of work. UNCP will have Rivera, Salisbury, and Aliman Saba. Bottom of the 9th inning on Senior Day. The Braves took the first 2 games against Augusta. They trail by 11 here entering the bottom of the 9th. With Brandon Blakely, I'm Cameron Songer. Thank you for joining us for this Senior Day presentation on the Braves Broadcast Network, our last broadcast of the 2015-2016 school year. Is the nostalgia kicking in yet, Brandon?
Yeah, I mean, it'll kick in a little bit more after exams. Still got those to deal with.
First pitch in there for a called strike on Rivera, who's 1 for 4 today. 1 run batted in. He singled and knocked in that run in the 7th. Takes a bit outside there. 1 ball, 1 strike. Salisbury on deck, Aliman Saba in the hole. The pitch from Sloan. Swung on, grounded in the infield, chopped towards short. Janicek leaps up, makes the catch, the throw to first just in time. Bang, bang play over at first, but Roberto Rivera is out on the ground out to short.
That was a very close play, but nice play at shortstop. Just gather, throw. Can't coach it any better.
Assuming this result holds today, this will be the 20th loss of the season for the Braves. They dropped to 12-15 this year. Augusta would improve to 29-16 and 17-10 in the Peach Belt Conference. Augusta right now, well, they're in 4th in the Peach Belt Conference, just 1 game behind USC Aiken for 3rd. So those 2 losses yesterday really hurt them. They do have a 2-game lead over Montevallo for 5th. This hurts the Braves. We're in a 3-way tie right now for 7th as Salisbury grounds this one to 2nd. It's played by Herkel. The throw to first is in time. And the Braves down to their last out here on Senior Day.
Yeah, it's so tough. I mean, the Peach Belt is just a brutal conference. Top to bottom, teams just beat on each other throughout the year. And it kind of wears you down, but every series and every game is important. I'd honestly probably compare it to maybe like the SEC.
That's what many people have said about the Peach Belt
Honestly.
Baseball Conference. It is to Division II baseball as the SEC is to Division I baseball.
Yeah.
There are no easy games, and the Braves really had a tough schedule. You can point to a lot of things. You can talk about the schedule. You can talk about the inexperience of this team as Ali Mansaba takes for strike one. Bottom line, though, the Braves have been a mainstay in the PBC tournament for as long as there's seemingly been a Peach Belt Conference tournament for baseball, and they're right now on the bubble.
Yep, trying to claw their way in.
Go one to Ali Mansaba, misses outside.
But I do think there's a lot of upsides to this team, and if they are able to get in, they will be a very dangerous 8th seed that a lot of teams wouldn't want to play in the first round.
Well, with a good weekend next weekend, they could even be the 7 seed, depending on how things shake out with Flagler and Francis Marion over the next couple of days. This ball hit in the air towards right center field, caught in center by Hardy, and that's the game. Your final score, 18-7. Augusta with the win. The Braves do end up taking 2 out of 3 in the series, as the Jags get to 29-16, 17-10 in the PBC. Braves 26-20 now, 12-15. And this was the last game of the season at home for UNCP. Brandon, your final thoughts on this game?
Tough loss for the Braves. I mean, overall the series was solid, but you hate to see these seniors go out on a note like that. They've got to carry a lot of more effort into the next game. Big series coming up, so we'll see if they can get in and continue the season.
Next games for the Braves will be next weekend on the road at Columbus State. Live stats will be available on uncpbraves.com and on Twitter at UNCP_sports as we track and follow to see if the Braves will get into the Peach Belt Conference Tournament. This has been our last broadcast of the year. It's been a pleasure bringing you Braves sporting events all season long. For my entire crew, our producer and director, Elka Gruthaus, my partner, Brandon Blakeney, I'm Cameron Songer. Thank you so much for joining us today and all season long. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you again in the fall for UNCP football on the Braves Broadcast Network. Your final score one more time here today, Augusta 18, Braves 7. Thanks, everyone.